Alright, today I play Lamplight City on Linux. Let's see how it works. So, I changed something here. Seems fine for now actually. I guess I'll skip that stage for now.
Rough night?
Bit too much Bollingworth ale is all. That stuff really creeps up on you.
Sorry I couldn't join you, but I was long overdue for a quiet night in with Addie.
That's fine. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Hell, maybe Adelaide can even join us. It's been ages since she last drank me under the table.
Afraid she mostly sticks to tea these days.
Miles, what exactly is it we're looking into? I may have dozed off during the briefing.
You sleep through the briefings?
Sure, it's really not that difficult. Snelling's monotonous drone works better than Cold Tit's emulsified soporific.
Very funny. Anyway, it's a burglary at the Hambrook Flower Shop.
A burglary, eh? How dull. At least we'll have enough time to get a drink afterwards.
You seem awfully certain of that.
I am. In fact, I'd bet the devil my head that we're done within the hour.
Well, the devil's gonna be disappointed that his winnings are so meager. Ah, we've arrived. After you, Bill. Thank you. Keep the change.
And so, our night of excitement begins.
You, more than anyone else, should know that there's rarely a dull night in Chumley.
I have a feeling tonight will be the exception. Until we get to the pub, that is.
Keep your mind on the case, Bill. Now let's get a move on.
Okay, let's see. I'm definitely gonna have to do some of this. Maybe kind of like that. They may have to lower those a bit more. We'll see. His book. Okay. Those suspects documents. Oh, so these are quote-unquote my items or my inventory, where they go, so to speak. I haven't played this game in a while. I've forgotten how it works.
Looks like they've had some trouble with vandalism.
Pretty much every business in this part of town has.
No, he even makes some comments. Very nice. Alright. A bit more. Kind of like that.
That reminds me. I should pick up a bouquet for Addie when we're done here.
Seems like you've been spending more time with me than with her lately. I sure hope she's not the jealous type.
Yeah, okay, it's still getting picked up from time to time, depending on the character. I guess that's fine.
He's just pacing back and forth, muttering to himself.
Probably one of the patients from Riverview. Seems like there's more of them on the streets than in the asylum these days.
Wow, he has a line for everything. Oh, right mouse button opens up the big book. Okay.
Fordham, what are you doing?
I was gonna check inside this trash can for clues.
Miles,
Really?
in the 15 years we've been partners, how many times have you found something inside a trash can that wasn't garbage?
Fair point.
Okay. I think I was gonna check something else as well. Oh yeah, let me speak to him.
Bill, could I have a word?
What's on your mind, Fordham?
Yeah, okay, maybe not now, I don't know, I'll need some repeating piece of dialogue. See what I can skip and what not.
Still feeling rough, Bill?
Yes, but I'll feel better once his case is finished and we can go down to the Angel for a pint or four.
Hair of the dog?
No better medicine.
Oh, this seems repeatable.
When's the last time you took any...
That's a good question.
I think we've both been working a bit too much. Addie's been wanting to go...
That sounds not
Alright.
less.
You're incorrigible, Bill.
It's
Oh wait, that was a different dialogue. Interesting. Well, I skipped through it all. I think I'm done with this. Let's see what he knows.
You ever miss living out here, Bill?
about as much as you
Okay,
missed
let's
stepping in
see.
that pile of horseshit last week.
I was distracted by that story you were telling me about your sister. How's she doing out west, anyway?
Well, she's not in the chum, so fantastic. Living here was about as fun as wearing a vest made of meat to a dogfight. I'm glad we both managed to get out. Oh, and by the way, Miles, you didn't do such a great job of cleaning your shoes.
That would explain all the funny looks I've been getting.
Nice.
A burglary at a flower shop. Not the most thrilling case we've had, is it?
If I didn't know any better, I'd say Snelling's been giving us the boring cases lately on purpose.
Why would he do something like that?
He's eyeing a promotion to chief of police. He'd sell his own mother's cane if he thought it would help. Plus, there's no secret he doesn't like us.
I can't understand why. I've shown him nothing but respect.
It's because you're too good at what you do. And because you're friends with me.
What's that got to do with anything?
Not everyone is as open-minded as you, Miles. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, so hitting the number keys seems to work. Just like it did in A Golden Wake. I don't think I mentioned that, but let's see if I hit the other number key, the numpad.
Got any opinions on the upcoming election?
I'll just be glad
Yep.
when it's all over.
That works
Seems like
too.
the last few months have been nothing but people giving opinions and telling me what to do without a moment's peace.
I know what you mean. I already saw some kids putting up Atwood posters down my street.
I already drew mustaches in all the ones on my street.
Handlebar?
Yeah, you know me too well.
I always thought of Atwood as more of a Van Dyke type of man myself.
I can see that. Yeah. Well, there's something to do tomorrow.
Wow, there is more and more. The character that keeps on giving.
You enjoying this weather? It's a nice evening for it, not too hot. I find a bit of fresh air always helps clear out the mental cobwebs.
It's just too bad the air in the chum is about as fresh as a week-old corpse. At any rate, it'll be winter before you know it. The whole city will be shut down, and we'll be digging bodies out from under the snowbanks.
Always something to look forward to. Let's get back to it.
All right.
Come on, Bill.
Charming little place, isn't it?
Charming, but empty. We need to find the owner.
Always so to the point, Fordham. If ever there was a better time to stop and smell the flowers.
I think I'll leave that to you, Bill.
With my allergies? Hardly.
Damn. Well played, going back and forth with the lines. I like it. Central display. Oh, I may have solved the first puzzle, yes. Let's see what he says about
Not
these.
too many left.
What the
Seems
hell?
business isn't so bad around here.
Well, you know what they say. There are only three certainties in life. Death, taxes, and people taking advantage of sales.
Huh. Maybe the game is trying to tell me something? Possibly foreshadowing? Or maybe I have to make some changes.
Plants hanging on hooks. A nice space-saving method.
I'd probably bang my head against them constantly if I had them in my apartment.
I'll leave it like this for now, but I may have to restart the game. Ooh, priceless.
These prices are pretty reasonable. The place
Oh,
I go
well,
in
this-
Worcester's clearly robbing me blind.
If you think those are bad, don't go near the flower shops in Lyon.
Be right there. Oh, hello, gentlemen. I must say you caught me by surprise. I was preparing to close soon. May I help you find anything? The flowers in the center display are half price this week, and I have a special on chrysanthemums today. Or perhaps a custom bouquet for the special ladies in your lives?
I have no need myself, but maybe Adelaide would appreciate a little something. Eh, Miles? Those peonies in the corner look nice.
I'm afraid we're not here as customers tonight, ma'am. We'd like to have a word with the proprietor. Is he in?
I see. I am Cecilia Handbook, and this is my shop. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
I'm Detective Miles Fordham, and this is my partner, William Legere. We received a report of a burglary at your store.
A report? From whom? I never contacted the police before, and I didn't this time, either.
It was made anonymously, but are you saying this isn't the first time it's happened?
Correct. It's happened 3 times. But considering the police hardly care about the daily muggings and vandalisms around here, I didn't think they would be interested in something so trivial.
Well, we're here now, and we'll do all we can to help you.
We'll have to see about that.
If you wouldn't mind, Mrs. Handbrook, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Very well, Detective.
Have you been in business long?
Yes, I opened this shop 30 years ago, along with my late husband, David. But the past 10 years, I've been running things on my own.
Don't you feel unsafe being here by yourself so late into the night?
Detective, when you've lived in this part of town as long as I have, it takes quite a lot to scare you.
Could you give me the details concerning the burglaries?
About 3 weeks ago on Monday, I noticed that my order of Easter lilies was missing. At first, I thought nothing of it. Sometimes certain types of flowers are unavailable or arrive in poor condition. These things happen. Then 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, it happened again. But this time, I noticed something rather odd.
Go on.
When I opened the shop, there were 6 crowns and 10 shillings on the counter. That's exactly the cost of 2 orders of lilies. Last Friday, it happened yet again. The lilies were missing, and there was payment for 1 order on the counter. I believe that someone has been breaking into my shop after hours, taking the lilies, and leaving money behind.
How unusual. Have you noticed any suspicious characters lurking around?
Detective Fordham, this is Chumley. You can't throw a stone without hitting a suspicious character. And if you've noticed my window, you'd be aware that stones get thrown around quite a bit in this neighborhood. If you're looking for trouble, you're far more likely to find it out there than in here.
I meant if you'd seen anyone out of the ordinary near your shop.
Only the 2 men from the police who entered it tonight. That is most definitely out of the ordinary.
Have you found any evidence of a break-in?
No, the front door is always locked. My assistant Trevor and I are the only ones with the key.
Are there any other points of access to the building?
The upstairs windows, I suppose, but I make sure to keep them locked, and neither of them have been broken.
Would you allow us to have a look upstairs?
Is that really necessary? I was just about to close up the shop.
It won't take but a moment.
Fine, I suppose you may, but please, don't dally too long.
So this burglar has been paying for the stolen goods?
That would appear to be the case, yes. I really don't think this could even be considered a crime. That's one of the reasons I didn't bother reporting it to the police.
And the other reasons?
Oh, I think I've already made those quite clear, Detective.
You mentioned your assistant has the other shop key. What can you tell me about him?
His name is Trevor Hastings, and he has been working for me for the past 10 years.
Do you trust him?
Implicitly. I've known him for ages, and he has been my full-time assistant since shortly after my husband died. You're not suggesting he had anything to do with this, are you?
Not at all. I would like to speak with him, though. Where might I find him?
It's Friday, so he should be on his way back from the docks right now. He'll be bringing my flower order within the hour.
Good. We'll meet him here, then. If that's all right with you.
I suppose I don't really have much of a choice, do I?
I think that's all the information I need for now.
All right, Detective.
Alright, let me mute you all. All the way down. Yeah, still doing this visual trick. Oh, he actually finally decided to move.
Interesting choice of decor in here.
Perhaps it wasn't always used as a storeroom, although I can understand why it would have been converted.
Yeah, it is rather drafty in here.
Okay, now let's see what I can find now.
A pastoral landscape. Definitely nowhere near here.
I've never much understood art, but it would be nice to see a place like that in person.
The window latch. Securely locked. Interesting. There's a gap between the window and the frame here. No wonder it's so drafty in this room. I wonder.
What are you thinking, Fordham?
That it's time for an experiment. I'm going to need a tool, however. Something long and thin should do the trick.
Shouldn't be too hard to find something like that around here.
I agree, but
This provides a means of escape from the top floor, or access to this window from the ground.
let's see, where do I find something like
A
that?
young lady, perhaps a relation of Mrs. Hanbrook?
I can see the resemblance. Sort of.
And the other
A
one?
rather distinguished-looking gentleman.
Reminds me of Captain Snelling, if he ever smiled.
Seems to be the broken pot storage area.
Why not just throw them away, I wonder?
It's likely they're going to be repaired. I noticed some faint cracks in some of the pots downstairs.
Device?
I've seen this type of device before. It's a special container for growing plants. Specific temperature and water conditions can be adjusted. Seems to be empty right now, though, and judging by the dust, it hasn't been used in a long time, if ever.
It seems Mrs. Hanbrook isn't too fond of steam tech, or just doesn't understand it.
Steam Deck, a large window?
I don't think this window would serve as a viable means of entry.
Yeah, nothing
Nice
there.
view, though. You can hardly see the vomit and manure piles on the street from up here.
Unmarked, but if the smell is anything to go by, this is where the flowers are stored when delivered.
I'll keep my distance then.
I would imagine that keeping a consistent temperature in here is important for the flowers.
When do you suppose this contraption was last serviced?
Hard to say. Definitely not recently, if the dust buildup is any indication.
Let's put icons or change when new interactions are available. Okay.
These seem to be part of the watering system for the flowers.
I haven't seen old piping like this in a while. Seems like someone's reluctant to upgrade.
I think there was something here with these, yeah.
Aha! This hook is exactly what I need. Mrs. Hanbrook, may I borrow
Okay.
this hook for a few minutes? It's crucial to our investigation.
Is that so?
It's
Yes.
crucial.
I promise I'll put it back as soon as I'm done.
Please do, Detective.
Just use a credit card like everyone else. So where is it now? I guess I just don't select that. Okay. I've definitely forgotten how this game works. I actually never examined what's behind her there. Like, do we care? Probably not. Just a shelf with stuff.
Mostly a bunch of fertilizer and growth tonics.
Growth tonics, eh?
Plant growth tonics, Bill.
Of course. I knew that.
Okay then. I still actually don't see how this
Bill,
is
it's
gonna
time for our
work.
experiment.
And what is this
To be
experiment
honest.
going to be exactly?
Simple. I'm going to see if this hook can get me inside the shop. Rather dark out here.
Watch your step then. This experiment of yours isn't worth a broken neck.
I'll be fine. Now then, could you please close and lock the window, Bill?
Oh wow, the crack's this big? I thought it was a little...
Well, I'd say this is fairly incontrovertible proof that the building can easily be broken
Flat,
into without arousing suspicion.
Where'd you learn how to do that
Thinner.
anyway?
You taught me, remember?
Nah. Are you sure it was me?
Positive. We were a few pints in at the Angel about 5 years ago, and you decided I should learn how to pick locks.
What else have I taught you how to do while drunk?
That would be telling.
Okay, well we now know this. What do we do with that? Don't we want to? Some results. Oh yeah, he also writes stuff down, a lot of it. It's possible to unlock the window. This is most probably the way in which the burglar entered the shop. So what? I think the other guy, or the guy, is gonna come in. Yeah.
Ah, Trevor.
Evening, Cecilia. I've got the order ready to bring in.
Trevor, these are Detectives Fordham and Leger. They say there's been a report about the burglaries, and they're here investigating.
I only did it because I think it's been going on too long. As much as you want to, we can't handle this ourselves.
We can discuss the matter later. In the meantime, the detective would like a word with you.
I'll be needing to bring in the flowers first, if that's all right. Otherwise, some hooligan's likely to run off with them.
My partner will keep an eye on your flowers. Bill, would you mind?
Ah, the glamour of police work.
Now, Mr. Hastings, if I could ask you a few questions?
Go on, then.
How long have you been working for Mrs. Hanbrook?
Been about 10 years now, I reckon. I used to help with deliveries now and then when it was her and David, her husband. But after he passed, she offered to make me her assistant. Unfortunate way to get it, but I needed the work. Used to be I had a job at one of the airship yards, but they let me go after I was injured by one of those newfangled steam machines. So the offer came at a good time. Besides that, Cecilia needed looking after, even though she'd never admit it. If I'm being honest, we're both getting a bit long in the tooth. Not sure how much longer we'll be keeping this up, but as long as I'm upright and breathing, I'll be bringing these crates along, even if it is murder on my back.
I admire your work ethic.
I've got a job to do. Not enough people these days seem to respect that.
What can you tell me about the recent burglaries?
I wish Cecilia had contacted you a lot sooner. She's a damn fine woman, but sometimes I think she'd rather jump in a rose bush than ask for help. Had to take matters into my own hands. This needs taken care of, and we can't do it on our own, as much as Cecilia would like to. Anyhow, alls I know is someone's been making off with some flowers and leaving money behind. No idea who it could be, how they're getting in, or why they even bother paying. In my day, if you robbed a place, you did it the right way. It's a sad state of affairs when even burglars don't do their jobs correctly.
Do you have much experience with burglary, Mr. Hastings?
Now, I never said that, Detective.
Have you noticed anyone or anything suspicious around here recently?
Nothing but the usual roughnecks, ragamuffins, and drunkards. Like I said, it's a real mystery.
Could you walk me through the process of your deliveries?
Of course, there's no great science to it. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons, Cecilia gives me her list of flowers to pick up from the wholesalers. I head over to Gascon around sunset when they get their shipment, and I give them her order. They load up the crate, I pay for it, and then I lug it back here.
How long does that take?
Between moving the crate and getting it across the river on the ferry, a couple of hours. Usually the store's closed by then, so I use my key to get in and leave the crate inside for Cecilia to open in the morning. That's all there is to it. Told you it wasn't very complicated.
Do you ever leave the crate unattended during that time?
No, sir. Never more than a minute. I may be old, but I got good eyes. I'd see if there were anything amiss. Besides that, I check to make sure the crate is still sealed when I drop it off. I'm not about to let Cecilia down by being careless.
Thanks for your time, Mr. Hastings. I'll let you get back to work.
Appreciate it, Detective. If you don't mind, Detective, I still need to check the crate before I bring it in.
Of course. Thank you again for your help.
Learn anything?
Possibly. I may have an idea.
Ah, you're being cryptic. That's always a good sign. But if you've got a plan, let's talk about it.
Okay, where exactly? Okay, Lauren. Yeah, I thought that was the old information. I don't know what they said. Let's see what he has to say.
Got a minute, Bill?
For you, Miles, I've got 5.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
I've heard of honor among thieves, but have you ever known a thief to pay for stolen goods?
Perhaps conducting normal business is just too boring for him. Do you think he might be doing it for the thrill?
There could be any number of reasons. The best way to find out is to catch the culprit and ask him ourselves.
Yeah, good luck with that. Himself, not really.
What's your impression of dear old Mrs. Hanbrook?
I like her. Good old-fashioned, tough-as-nails Chumley woman. Reminds me of my mother.
Your mother was never quite so stubborn. Why do you suppose she's so reluctant to accept our help?
It's a chum thing, Miles. You wouldn't understand.
Any thoughts on Mrs. Hanbrook's assistant, Trevor?
Yes. I feel sorry for him.
Why? He seems to enjoy his work.
Nah, it's not that. He's obviously smitten with Mrs. Hanbrook, but she won't give him the time of day.
What? You only saw him for a few moments. How in the ether did you get that impression?
The way he looked at her, the way he spoke when he confessed to contacting the police. Shall I go on?
No, that's fine. I see what you mean.
Really, Miles. You'd be surprised what you can learn from people if you just look at them.
Why bother doing that when I've got you to do it for me?
Nice one.
Right. Based on what we've been told in our experiment, I can only conclude that our burglar is using the upstairs window to get into the shop.
So what do you propose we do about it?
It's happened repeatedly over the past 3 weeks, on one of the delivery nights. Since it has yet to occur this week, and today is Friday, logic dictates it should be tonight.
So we settle in and wait to see if the burglar returns? Catch him in the act?
Exactly. It's our best chance of solving this before the trail goes cold.
And I was really looking forward to getting that drink at the Angel tonight, too.
I know, but it's as you said yourself. There'll be plenty of other opportunities. Besides, forbearance is good for the soul.
Spoken like someone who truly has no idea how to have any fun.
I'm sure I'll get the hang of it one of these days, especially with your expert tutelage.
Okay, let's go have a chat with Mrs. Hanbrook. I'm sure she'll be delighted to know we're spending the night. Damn, I forgot to bring my deck of cards again.
At least it's quiet up here. I'm surprised we didn't go deaf after the last time we did this.
What?
I said... Oh, right. Your sense of humor remains on point.
Miles, have you ever considered leaving all this behind?
What, you mean quitting the force?
The Force, the city, going off and seeing what else is out
I
there.
was actually hoping I would
I'd miss it too
be able
much.
to talk to
Wouldn't you?
her again, but
I was thinking I might visit Harley out west.
oh well, too
Makes
late
it sound
now.
like a dream in her letters. Wide open spaces, fresh air. I know I'm a city boy and would probably miss New Britannia's filth and squalor after a week, but...
You should do it. A change of scenery never hurt anyone. Plus, it's much easier for you than it is for me. I've got a family to consider, after all.
Ah, right.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that, Bill. It's just...
Shh! I think I heard something. Oh, no!
Bill? Stop! Police!
Damn it! He's gone up the fire escape. We can corner him on the roof. Stay close and keep me covered.
Okay then.
Bill!
Oh
Stay
no.
back, officer. Got a knife. Ready your pistol for him.
But you're too close!
I trust you, Miles. Your pistol, now!
I have a
Really
pistol.
no need for this, officer. I respect your desire to uphold justice. Mine is more important. If you let me go, I won't come back. And we can all forget this ever happened.
Don't listen to this lunatic, Miles. Take your shot before things get worse.
It probably doesn't matter too much. I guess I'll hit this.
Look, we've caught you red-handed. Put down the knife, let my partner go, and give
Oh,
yourself
it's
up.
a knife, not a gun.
No! I'm not going to jail. Do you know what they do to people in there?
Yes, I do. If you cooperate, I'll see if I can get the judge to ease your sentence.
I appreciate your tactics, Fordham, but this really isn't the time.
Alright. So be it.
No! Bill! Oh, God! I am so sorry, my friend. I am so sorry.
Rough night?
Overdid it on the soporific. Why do I feel like I've had this conversation before?
I'm just glad you're in the mood to converse again. Seriously, you took so much of that snake oil last night, I was starting to think you wanted me quiet for good.
That was the idea.
Come now, you don't really mean that.
Believe me, I do.
I know it's not easy, but there's really no need.
Not easy. Bill, I've been hearing your voice since you died. You don't shut up unless I take that accursed medicine. I'd say that qualifies as a bit more than not easy.
Yeah, well, how do you think I feel? You think I enjoy being trapped here, listening to you whine about how hard your life's become? You at least still have yours.
If you're just as miserable, why don't you just go away and leave me in peace?
Believe me, I wish I knew how. But the bottom fact is, you're stuck with me. So you can either keep living this way and ruin your life even more than you already have, or you can do as I've told you and try to figure out a way to let me move on.
Right. For the 1000th time, you want me to find the burglar from the flower shop.
Yes, exactly.
I still don't get how that's going to help.
I can understand your confusion, considering it was you who killed me. But the point remains. You wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place if not for him. Once the criminal has been caught and is in custody, we'll both get what we want.
A decent night's sleep?
More than that, you'll have that elusive thing you always wanted to give others. Closure.
you do realize the trail's pretty much frozen at this point. Our man has seemingly vanished into the ether.
That's no excuse not to keep trying. I know the cases Upton's been giving you these past few months haven't been the most thrilling, but they've at least kept you active. So just keep at it. Something has to turn up eventually. Unless, of course, you want to wind up in Riverview Asylum. And if that happens, I'm really not going to keep quiet.
Fine.
Good man. Now, I suggest you stop talking to thin air, or Adelaide's gonna start wondering if you've gone mental. Or just maybe, she'll stop wondering.
Very funny.
Okay, now I'm gonna save here. And I'm gonna restart the game. I think that Burglar was also not supposed to be in the shadows all the time. So it seems like it's the same case as with Unavowed, but I don't know for sure because I don't remember. So I guess I'll be back in a minute. Alright, let's see if this works. I guess I can quickly skip through some of that dialogue and whatnot. Okay, I guess I can skip through this. Then I can load back to my save.
Right.
Miles,
You Ah,
Nice.
come on, Bill.
charming little...
Yeah, oh, okay.
Not too many left.
Know
Seems
what I want
business
to
isn't
do.
so bad around.
Yeah, he isn't blinking anymore. So it seems to be the same problem. I don't know why, what's missing, what's going on, but it's the same problem with the same solution. I simply switched from OpenGL to G3, G9. That seems to have fixed things. Let's see if we can see the burglar now though. We don't need to do anything here. Just examine the window, I guess.
I'm
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I guess the guy appears after this.
good. So what?
Go.
Do you,
Like.
do you,
Are you?
Okay, well, that was a fast conversation. Hey, maybe I can talk to her now. See what she says.
But if
I have a few more questions for you, Mrs. Sandbrook.
Very well, Detective. If it will help you conclude your investigation faster.
What are the volume levels? was raised again or something, like not saved.
Mrs. Hanbrook, were you aware that there's a gap in the frame of the small upstairs window?
Seems
Is
like it a
there?
little bit.
I only go up there to check that the window is locked. I've never noticed a gap. Are you suggesting that's how the burglar is entering the store?
Precisely. I believe the burglar is passing a tool through the gap and using it to unlock the window.
Oh my!
But now that we know the method, we're one step closer to catching him.
And how do you propose to do that?
I'll inform you as soon as I know. I think that's all the information I need for now.
All right, Detective.
Yeah. Everything back to default. I guess because this hasn't been saved or something. I don't know why.
Got a minute, Bill?
It just doesn't remember the volume settings. Oh, I'm stuck on himself. Oh, wait. It's not endless dialogue?
No.
Awesome. Okay, another fast skip.
Keep me covered.
Oops.
Bill!
Nice.
Stay back, officer.
Surrender.
Got a knife.
Ready your pistol.
But you're too close.
I trust you.
There's really Iris. If you don't listen.
Okay, so I guess he's being rendered properly, but we're not supposed to know who he is.
No!
Not yet, anyway.
Bill! Oh, God!
Oh, this is skippable.
I am so sorry, my friend. I am so sorry.
It would be nice if I could just get to the menu, but I guess I'm not that lucky.
If you're just as
Believe me.
Oh, you can select stuff with the right mouse button?
Right. But
Yeah, but
Okay.
you do...
Good to know, I guess. And now I'm gonna load my save. Alright. Let's continue. I have a ton of stuff to examine.
that's a fun little apparatus Adelaide got you. Very soothing.
Watching it spin long enough puts me right to sleep.
I'd say that's really more the soporifics doing. Remember before you started taking that medicine and you could actually read a book for more than 10 minutes before falling asleep? You were a lot more fun to talk to back then. I'm certain a permanent indentation in the shape of your rear is starting to form on that thing. I always liked that self-portrait of Adelaide's mother, even if the eyes do always follow you around the room.
Oh, that's one of those weird ones. Or interesting one, depending on the person.
You should have let me be buried wearing my hat. At least it wouldn't be gathering dust like it is now.
If I'd done that, it would be dust right now.
Heh, fair point. Wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been wearing that coat for who knows how long.
So? Addie gave it to me. Besides, it gives me character.
Right. Brooding detective in a long black coat. That's never been seen before.
What are you talking about, Bill?
Never mind.
Oh no, here we go again with the never minds.
Adelaide's last performance. She could really bring the house down. Pretty, but I'm glad I don't have a sense of smell anymore. Don't worry, Miles. I don't watch when you and Adelaide are having your private time.
It would be nice if you didn't spend the whole time humming.
I thought you appreciated some romantic music. Cozy little winter getaway. That would be a welcome change from the winters in this city. Miles, care to explain what you're doing?
Just checking to make sure everything that needs to be in here still is.
Right. If you start taking that stuff during the day, you're really going to have problems. Adelaide's mother certainly enjoyed pressing flowers. Do you suppose she does more of it now that she's retired? It's admirable just how organized Adelaide is. Maybe someday the same can be said about you. Ha, that poster brings back some memories. That's from around the time you two met, isn't it?
Yes, back when Addie was singing at the Angel.
Well, look who's awake. Ready to rejoin the living?
Very much so.
You were talking in your sleep again.
Did I say anything interesting?
Do you ever?
You have to admit, she's got you there.
How are you feeling?
A touch groggy. I think I took a bit too much of the soporific last night.
That's what I thought. When you went for your after-lunch nap, you'd barely gotten breakfast down. I saved you some bread and cheese if you're hungry.
Thank you, but I haven't got much of an appetite.
You really should regulate your doses more carefully, love. I'm sure dull senses and an empty stomach aren't much help to your work. By the way, a message arrived via courier for you this morning. I put it on the table along with today's newspaper.
Thank you, dear.
It might do you some good to look in the mirror a bit more often, Miles. If there isn't a pair of scissors or a hairbrush in Adelaide's hands, you can bet there'll be a book. I always liked that painting. It's impossible to see that kind of scenery here in the city. You remember how much time Adelaide had to spend convincing you to sit for this? At least these days, with ferrotype tech advancing the way it is, these portraits can be done in just a matter of minutes. Didn't I give you two that clock as a wedding present? Too bad it stopped working. I can see why Adelaide calls that plant Miles Jr. It's a spitting image. How are your parents doing these days? It's been ages since you wrote them. Your book collection has always astonished me. Heaven help you if you ever decide to move. Adelaide's father certainly had an amazing life. Imagine being the personal barber to the Prime Minister and his family. The gossip and secrets he must have heard. That makes me wonder what old Mrs. Handbrook is up to these days. Building those model ships was a good way to pass the time between cases. Hopefully it'll be a while before you get enough time to build another one. I'd love to see the look on Snelling's face if he ever found out you kept your old truncheon. Ah, the Havisham case. Our first time out as partners. First in a long line of successful cases. It's nice to have a memory of the good old days. Bollingworth Ale. My favorite! And a nice souvenir from the Angel. You really ought to go back there someday. It's been so long since you used that desk. Did you even notice when Adelaide got rid of the chair?
Okay, there's quite a bit here. I'm not certain, but I think some of these were kinda important. Let's see, remembering the HMS Ligeia. This Tuesday marks the 3-month anniversary of the tragic crash of the HMS Ligeia. Ligeia was preparing to make its second transatlantic voyage when disaster struck. The airship burst into flames shortly after departing for England, crashing into Foster Park. All 300 passengers on board, including HRH Prince Harold, were killed, as were 54 bystanders in the park. Royal Maverick Lines conducted an investigation into the crash and accident, citing the ignition of a gas leak. Despite this, rumors of sabotage persist. Royal Maverick vowed to instill stricter safety regulations going forward, and that the Ligeia's sister ship, the HMS Lenore, would be extremely safe upon its completion. There has been public outcry and protests at the continued on page 7. I guess we're not checking that one out. Gascon Grand Dame dies. Madame Laura Dupray, aged 44, died on Saturday of apparent natural causes. Born Laura Chesterton in London in 1800, she and her family moved to New Britannia in 1804. In 1818, she married Colonel Andrew Shepherd, a royal officer 30 years her senior. The marriage lasted 1 year, ending with Shepherd's death during a trip to Piedmont. Shortly after, Dupray married Benjamin Montgomery, a doctor. They had 2 children, Juliet, born 1820, and Andrew, born 1821. Sadly, Benjamin died of tuberculosis in 1830. 5 years later, Laura married Jean Dupray, a banker. He was known throughout the community as a great humanitarian for her policy of exclusively employing humans rather than using automated service machines in her manor. Funeral services to be held continued on page 5. Ethericity, it's real and it's common, says scientist. The existence of ethericity, a substance said to possess both energetic and restorative properties, was first put forth 2 years ago by Dr. Bennett Clark. His presentation at the annual Vespuccia Science Conference at the University of New Britannia was extremely divisive. Dr. Clark claims that ethericity exists in small amounts on Earth, but is mainly located in the celestial region commonly referred to as the Aether. Imagine electricity, but hundreds of times more powerful. In addition to powering our lights and machines, it can also significantly reduce the effects of aging and heal the sick. The sky will no longer be the limit, he described. Dr. Clark has yet to secure significant funding for his experiments, as his harshest critics have dismissed him as a crackpot. However, there are those who believe that ... on page continued on page 9. Second bizarre murder baffles police. New Britannia police are investigating a murder in Chumley or something like this. I don't know, have the letters not being pronounced. Similar to one which occurred in that borough just last month. Though many details are confidential at this time, we are able to confirm that both victims have been male and died from gunshot wounds. New Britannia police declined to reveal any further details and denied rumors that the murders are being committed by a serial killer. We have no reason to believe that these murders are related, said Chief of Police Reginald Snelling. We have our finest detectives on the case and hope to find whoever perpetrated those awful crimes very soon. In the meantime, we ask the citizens of New Britannia, especially those in Chumley, to remain vigilant and report any and all suspicious activity immediately to a police officer. Coverage will continue as the story unfolds. Alright, and the message? For them, a big case has come in which I think will interest you. Meet me at the Ruined Coffee House for more details. See Upton. Alright.
Upton says she's got a big case for me.
Does she go into any more detail than that?
No, but then you know Upton. Always on a need-to-know basis. Especially since she's been giving me these cases under the table.
To be fair, they haven't exactly been anything of note.
True, but she's still sticking her neck out for me. I can understand why she's so secretive about it.
I think she just misses having you around the station.
Poor Connie. With you quitting and me dying, she must be bored stiff at work.
Anyway, I'm supposed to meet her at the Ruined Coffee House. That can't be right.
It's not like Constance to make mistakes. She must have gotten in somehow.
Guess I'll head over there and see what she's got then.
So he quit. I forgot this little detail.
Addie?
Yes, dear?
How are you? It feels as though we haven't seen much of each other these past few days.
I've been fine.
Addie, you're not a very good liar. What's on your mind?
I'm worried about you, Miles.
I know, but I've told you there's no need to worry about me. I'm all right.
You're not all right, Miles. I may not be a good liar, but you can't fool me either.
I am all right. What do I have to do to convince you of that?
You could start by throwing out that sleeping medicine. It's turned you into a different person.
I needed to sleep, Addie. I'll become an even worse person without it, believe me.
I know Bill's death was hard for you. It was hard for all of us. But whatever it is that's bothering you, you know you can talk to me about it. That's what I'm here for.
I know, my love. Your support means the world to me. I need some time to deal with things. That's all. It won't always be like this, I promise.
Making promises you can't keep, eh, Miles? That'll end well.
What's that you're reading?
It's a collection of short stories by James Penstroke. It was just published earlier this month.
Any good?
Oh yes, I love his work. He's been publishing a new serial in Brentwell magazine. I can't wait to read it. Perhaps we both can together? I think you'd enjoy him.
Lately, I haven't been able to concentrate on a page for more than 5 minutes without nodding off.
That is a pity.
How's work going? You have any appointments today?
Yes, one this evening. It's been a bit slow lately, but pretty soon it'll be debutante ball season, and all the Gascon grand dames will need their hair done. You sure I can't convince you to let me give you a little trim? You've been looking awfully scruffy lately.
What's the point? I've got no need to go peacocking around town. You're the only girl for me.
I like it when you're clean cut. It brings out your eyes.
The way my eyes have been looking lately, I think it's best to keep them hidden.
Hello, welcome. I don't know why do I want to compliment her. I'm gonna need her help later on. Let's see, maybe I missed something? What is this all about?
I've still got that song you sang last week at the Rutherford stuck in my head. You were amazing.
Thank you, Miles. That was a lovely evening. I always enjoy it when Joseph brings out his violin and we can relive the old days.
Certainly nicer than when he spends hours telling the exact same story whenever you visit.
They were very glad to see you, you know.
It's probably the most fun I've had in months, to be honest.
They've invited us for dinner again in a couple of weeks, if you're feeling up to it.
I hope I am. I'll let you get back to your book. I shouldn't be gone too long.
Take care of yourself out there.
Ah, the Rouen Coffee House. Worst Java in Lamplight City, but there's no better place to overhear all the rumors and gossip in town. Just make sure you don't get too close to the other patrons. Discretion was never your forte.
Okay then.
Good to see you up and about again.
Yeah, well, it hasn't
Oh,
been
this doesn't
easy,
him.
but it was either go back to work or spend all day in bed and starve.
Nice. How do
good
you
on to
like
keep
it
your
so
spot
far?
open.
I've
Lots of places
played
would've just
this
put in someone
before
else.
once,
Well,
but it
it's
was
the least they could have done. Been there for 20
some
years.
time ago, so I've forgotten a bunch of stuff.
Hard to believe it's already been 3 months.
She's running back and forth at lightning speed. Clearly, she dips into the coffee supply.
I know.
Seems like they have a little something for everyone in here.
Wasn't I able to speak to these guys?
Judging by the sooty apron, this man is either a metal worker, a chimney sweep, or just really lazy when it comes to washing.
Or maybe during another
A
case.
young woman holding a guitar. Completely the wrong way, I might add. All that metal and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee? Self-Portrait as a Desperate Man by B. Calvert. A bit like looking in the mirror, isn't it, Miles? P.D. Preston's patented papier-mâché perambulcat. Handsomely upholstered in silk, satin, or velvet, and hand-painted in the most artistic manner, as shown in engraving. I suppose if you and Adelaide ever finally decide to have children, something like this will come in handy.
Okay. What didn't you like about it? Because I was happily surprised, if I remember correctly, but that's why I decided to play it again to remind myself.
Not much of a hurry to clean up in here, are they?
I've never heard about these.
So what do you think will happen
Maybe
if
I'll
this
check them out
Christmas
after
stuff
this.
turns out to be real?
Honestly, nothing. The rich will stay rich, and the poor...
If it isn't my old friend, up to no good.
Hello, Fordham. It's good to see you.
How did you get them to let you in here?
It's rather simple, really. The owner and I have an understanding. He pretends women are allowed in coffee houses, and I don't report his unsavory business practices to Chief Snelling.
Sounds like a good deal. What sort of unsavory business practices are we talking about?
Oh, we haven't got time to get into that now. But take some advice. Don't order anything that isn't water.
I got your message. What's going on?
It's time for you to join the big boys again, Fordham. Your days of finding lost cats are over.
So stop teasing me and tell me what it is already.
Do you know Madame Laura Dupray?
Laura Dupray. She's one of those Gascon Grand Dames, isn't she?
That's right. I'm surprised you've heard of her. I didn't think you cared about those types of people.
I don't, but Adelaide has several of them as clients. She gets paid to pretend to care about their lives, and I get to hear the sordid details.
Madame Dupray died the day before yesterday. Her funeral was held this morning.
My condolences.
But halfway through the service, the mourners heard a loud knocking coming from inside her coffin.
She wasn't dead?
Apparently not. Nearly interred alive, although her doctor swears she had no pulse. Dupray's son Andrew was quick to suspect foul play. He accused a man named Albert Martin, and the police arrested him.
So where do I come in? Sounds like the case has already been solved.
I strongly suspect that Martin is innocent, especially considering the talk of him having used black magic on Dupray. The police feel they have enough evidence to convict, so they're not bothering to investigate any further. You're going to look into it and see if I'm right, then find the person who was really behind this.
I would say so, yeah. I haven't played all the Monkey Islands, but I've played a couple. I don't know what else would be considered as big games. I haven't played the King's Quest games, for example. And there are probably a couple other titles, especially from the old ones, that I haven't played.
Why not just ask Madame Dupray herself?
She hasn't spoken since the ordeal. Apparently, she's been catatonic since they pulled her out of the coffin.
How unfortunate.
If you'd like to question Mr. Martin, he's being held at the Bow Street Jail. Or you could take a look around his house. It's at 451 Compton Street in Worcester.
And the Dupray home?
That's at Emmeline and Comtesse, right across from the old Angeline convent. It's also possible you might run into the police during your investigation, since they're technically still on the case.
Thanks for the warning.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about before you get started?
Yes, actually, I had a couple of questions.
Let's hear them then.
How are things going with you?
Work is hectic as usual, and I'm spending my day off in here. But considering my home life is still a shambles, maybe this is the best place to be.
I'm truly sorry about that.
Don't be ridiculous. If it hadn't been for you, I'd still be chained to that philandering bastard. It hasn't been easy, but I'm much better off this way. Trust me. Anyway, work gives me something to focus on. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes, and I'm grateful to you for getting me these case leads. I know you're taking a risk to do it.
It's the least I can do. How about you? How's Adelaide?
She's fine, although things between us could be improved, if I'm being honest. The less said about it right now, the better, I think.
I'm sorry to hear that. You can talk to me about it if you need to, although I'm probably not the best person to ask for relationship advice.
Actually, I have played none of these. Surprisingly enough. I think I've heard the name of Cymon the Sorcerer. And I just remembered Gabriel Knight. It's also, I think, somewhat of a famous one that I haven't played.
Don't suppose there have been any developments regarding Bill's murder?
Unfortunately not. The department hasn't exactly been focusing on that case as a priority. The general attitude is that it was an accident. Bill died an honorable death in the line of duty.
Would have been nice if they bothered saying that at the funeral.
And of course there are still those who blame you for his death, Snelling being the first and foremost.
But the man who really caused Bill's death is still out there.
Yes, I know, but it looks like you're on your own if you want to find him. My hands are tied. I can only ask around so much before the higher-ups get suspicious. Just don't give up. New Britannia may be a big city, but the criminal world is surprisingly close-knit. If you find any connections or leads during your other cases, be sure and let me know. I'll do the same if I find anything out.
See, she has a priority straight. You could learn a lot from Upton.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
What do you know about Madame Dupray?
Only what I've read about her in the paper. She's been married thrice, which I can empathize with, and she's extremely rich, which I can't.
What makes you think this Martin fellow is innocent?
The fact that the only evidence is the word of Dupray's son. I've seen this sort of thing thousands of times, and I'm sure you did too. They're just looking for a scapegoat. You're the only person I know who can put it right.
Upton's intentions are noble, but she has to realize this is just a drop in the ocean.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
That's it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to it.
Well, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to help you find the flower shop burglar, but I suppose freeing an innocent man is a worthy diversion.
You are aware this is private property, sir?
Yes, I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the incident involving Madame Dupray. I assume this is she?
You assume correctly, Mr. Fordham. My apologies, but I thought the police had already made an arrest.
That's right, but there's still some doubt as to the man's guilt. May I ask your name, sir?
I am Dr. Fellows, Madame Dupray's private physician. I'm afraid she is in no state to be answering questions at present.
Are any other members of the family home?
Her son, Mr. Montgomery, is in the entrance hall. I had to give him a mild sedative to settle his nerves, but he should be all right to converse.
Then if you don't mind, I'll have a look around.
Her eyes are glazed over, and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person. With her vast sums of wealth, Madame Dupray could probably feed a starving family for the next 30 years. Instead, she uses the money to keep her hedges trimmed. This fountain probably looked nicer when it was working, but right now it's just a breeding ground for mosquitoes.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
Tell me about Madame Dupray.
She is a great woman and a pillar of the community. I cannot imagine why something like this could happen to her, or how someone could be capable of such a barbaric feat. Though this ordeal has been terrible, I am confident she will overcome. The power of her physical constitution is surpassed only by her strength of character.
Do you think he'd say the same things if he wasn't on her payroll? I highly doubt it.
What were the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupray's supposed death?
Her son, Andrew, sent for me a few days ago after finding her unconscious and unresponsive. As I was unable to detect a pulse or breath, I had no other recourse but to declare her deceased. I judged that Madame Dupray had likely suffered a sudden cardiac arrest. It was most shocking to be proven wrong at a funeral.
I can imagine. Where was the funeral held, by the way?
St. Denis Cemetery. Madame Dupray wished to be interred in the tomb of her father's family, name of Chesterton.
Perhaps I'll go have a look. How long have you been Madame Dupray's private physician?
5 years, and I've been practicing medicine for the past 30. I still spend a couple of days a week treating patients at Riverview Asylum.
Oh, good. Maybe if you're lucky, he could be your doctor someday.
30 years is quite a long time. You must have seen some incredible advances in the field of medicine.
I have, yes. I can only wonder how things will change with all this talk of ethericity. There's speculation it can be used to restore necrotic tissue and instantly heal broken bones, among other things. If you ask me, a good bloodletting will never go out of fashion.
Did you examine Madame Dupray after she reanimated?
Of course. Physically, she appeared to be in fine health aside from minor dehydration. I found no marks or bruising on her body. Mentally is a different story, however. She's remained in an unresponsive state ever since.
Do you have any opinions on what caused Madame Dupray to appear dead?
The most likely cause I can imagine is some sort of poison or toxin.
What leads you to believe Madame Dupray was poisoned?
The symptoms she experienced were consistent with prior cases of poisoning I've studied. And didn't the young man arrested have ties to some kind of black magic cult? There have been reported cases of these practitioners using poisons to make people appear dead, then commanding them to do their bidding. I recall reading about a man in the West Indies who was given tetrodotoxin, that's the toxic secretion from a pufferfish, declared dead and buried. He appeared alive in his village some 20 years later.
Doesn't that seem a bit far-fetched to you, Doctor?
Facts are facts, Mr. Fordham. Surely someone in your line of work can appreciate that.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Oh, hello. Are you the new servant?
No, I'm Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into your mother's attempted murder.
How did you know I was her son? Oh, of course. You must have sensed it with your detective's intuition. I should have guessed by that giant head of yours.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, I'm fine. Much better than when those pesky police officers were snooping around earlier. But I like you, Mr. Fordham. I can already tell you're not like them at all. Please, call me Andrew.
Yes, well, I'll have a look around and I may need to ask you some questions. Do you think you can handle that?
I can. In fact, I really look forward to it.
If the good doctor gave him a mild sedative, I'd hate to see what the stuff you take would have done to him. What a beautiful parrot. Must have cost the Duprays a cool copper.
Who's a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
Pieces of 8?
Aye, matey.
So long, Birdie.
Bye-bye.
Do you suppose that's for the bird? Or perhaps so the Dupray family members can get a good look at themselves on the way out of the house? Dupray looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life. This is always my favorite part of detective work.
Nothing inside but a bunch of extra doilies.
How disappointing. Maybe you should steal one, just to spite Madame Dupray for not giving us any good clues.
No, Bill.
You're no fun, Miles. A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Dupray didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls. Goodness, someone went overboard with the flowers. This brings back some memories, doesn't it?
Ones I'd rather forget.
The science of pharmacology. Yeah, I'm sure it's riveting stuff. It looks as though this folded piece of paper is being used as a bookmark. I hope remembering what page they were on wasn't too important.
Looks like it's a letter for Andrew.
Oh, look at this. Andrew, enclosed is the agreed upon fee. I wouldn't be able to concentrate on exams without this help. Dr. Tennyson charges an obscene amount. Thank goodness for good people like you at home pharmacies. I will look for them in the usual spot under the Weeping Angel. Joshua. P.S. Sorry to hear about your mother. I'll wait a few days before passing by. Under the Weeping Angel. Alright. I think I may remember what that is for.
These should be useful.
Dr. Tennyson's Vigor pills. These would make a sloth act like a hummingbird. I can only wonder what sort of potions Andrew concocts in this thing.
Wasn't there some sort of a puzzle here with this
A gentle reminder that everyone's time is slowly running out. What in the ether is that thing supposed to be? Actually, I'd rather not know.
Well, we might
Is this
find
really
out
the best that medical science has to offer?
eventually.
Decadent.
And the nose doesn't seem like it. I guess I can always come back.
Yeah, it must be a nice place to sit and listen to music. Oh, look! It's one of those new audio cylindergraphs. I can't quite wrap my head around how they can manage to get sound out of a wax cylinder.
Okay then. Nice. Didn't expect this.
Why would anyone need so many flowers in one room?
Perhaps it's to mask the odors of those chemicals on the workstation.
Could be. I don't know much about art, but I see Madame Dupray and I at least have similar tastes. Nice bouquet of roses, although it would make things much easier if they were Easter lilies.
If only.
Ah, the Gascon docks. The artist definitely took some liberties. You can't see a single person getting stabbed. Must be nice being able to afford keeping your oil lamps lit during the daytime. I've never seen so many beauty products together in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though. Whoever lives in this room really likes plants and flowers, don't they?
Locked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised.
I don't think I ever managed to open this chest last time. If it can even be opened. Seems like it might, but who knows? Oh wait, we have the map here? Ooh, can I maybe teleport? Possibly. Question is now, how do I get back? I don't. Really? There is no exit or anything. Okay then. I can somewhat teleport by skipping walking animations. Very nice, very nice. I enjoyed that very much in Gemini Rule.
Nice little cottage. Looks like it would make a nice cozy spot to retire. If I hadn't already retired from life, that is.
Let's have a look through these papers. Aha, what's this?
Let's see, September 8th, 1844. Dear Miss Montgomery, unfortunately I've been informed of a series of burglaries in the neighborhood near the room you're renting for me at the 76 Forest Lane. As a precaution, I've gone ahead and changed the locks. Please find and close the copy of your new key. I hope this doesn't cause you too much of an inconvenience. Yours, Edwina Creswell.
Interesting. This Miss Montgomery must be Andrew's sister. But why is she renting a room in the Chum? Guess there's really only one way to find out.
So isn't there something beneath the carpet, or maybe I need some more clues for that?
They're all empty. How unusual.
Not to mention disappointing. Well, someone's fancy. I never liked these types of beds much. They feel too claustrophobic.
I always thought they had a certain appeal myself.
Yes, you would think that about a bed that lets you shut out the rest of the world. Ooh, a fainting couch. You know, I always wanted one of these, but I never fainted enough to justify buying one. A much younger Madame Dupray. I suppose that's a nice alternative to a mirror. That's an old uniform, from the turn of the century by the look of it. This must be Madame Dupray's first husband. Kinda strange that she'd still keep his portrait in the bedroom. Choice and consequence. Who in their right mind would write a book about that? Doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it. I wonder if anyone outside the family would find this even remotely interesting. Now that one sounds interesting. I was always a fan of Bedletter's short stories. One of those melodramatic romances. I read it a while back and I couldn't tell you a thing about it. I don't even want to know what that one's about. I read that one last year. If you ever wanted to know the intimate details of a buffalo's anatomy, I highly recommend it.
Pretty sure there was something with one of these books. I guess not yet. I can't really look at the lower levels. It's anything here.
Let's see if there's anything in these drawers. Damn, nothing but personal effects and more stationery.
Don't forget the first rule of detective work. If there's nothing useful inside, check underneath and between.
Ah, yes, of course. Thanks for the reminder.
Now this is intriguing.
I'm not going to warn you again, you disgusting mulatto thug. Stay away from my daughter and my house or I'll kill something. You and some, I don't know, whatever it is.
You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me.
Seems Madame Dupray fancies herself a poet.
To drain, O Morpheus, caress my cheek, bring forth the soothing visions, give me strength when I am weak, allow me some provisions. In your domain, I am as a queen, controlling all I see and hear. I have traveled places I have never been, and know not the meaning of fear. Interesting. And the dove? The dove is pure, serene, and pale, a glowing angel in the sparkling sky. It's gentle, loose, and like the wail of the cursed crow that will not die. Protected the dove from the grim defeat. Let it remain in gentle flight. Wait, for whoops, for when the crow is allowed to eat, it covers the world in eternal night. Interesting things to say.
Well, that was life-changing.
For once in my life, I'm completely speechless.
Then perhaps I should take this with me and read it more often.
Yeah, perhaps you should. For dark cases, maybe?
It would appear that Madame Dupray was taking music lessons.
Her current predicament has probably put an end to that venture, though.
We're not gonna take this. Okay, again, maybe not yet. Oh, wait, what was that book upstairs that I found?
The Science of Pharmacology. Yeah, I'm sure it's a riveting...
It's the Science of Pharmacology, okay. Or the other ones here? At least somewhat related.
Choice and consequence.
Nope. If there is a relation, I don't see it. Oh yeah, I got a key here as well.
Certainly no shortage of bowls or food preparation items around here. Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the menu tonight. I wonder how it compares with Upton's special recipe. Some kind of water dispensing device, maybe? I was never very good at finding my way around the kitchen. It's times like these make me wish I could still eat. Judging by the amount of food this family probably eats, washing the dishes must take forever. Looks like the type of spices you'd use in a stew. Most likely paprika or turmeric. Nice variety of reds and oranges.
Pardon me, miss.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm investigating the attempted murder of Madame Dupray.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm very busy. I can't help you.
Do you know anything about what happened to Madame Dupray?
No, I don't. Please leave me to my work. I shouldn't be talking to you.
Alright, I'm going.
Yeah, you surely have plenty to tell me. Or was it somebody else? I guess he'll be coming back.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. Nothing as exciting as what you do, I'm sure. Ooh, tell me, do most bad people start crying when you catch them? I'll bet it's a laugh riot to see them sobbing away.
No, Mr. Montgomery, most of them don't.
Well, that's a real shame, isn't it?
What can you tell me about Madame Dupray?
She came back from the dead. I couldn't believe it. My mother, resurrected, just like Jesus.
Yes. I heard you're the one who accused Mr. Martin of the crime.
Oh, no, I already talked to the police about that. I don't want to think about it right now.
I found a letter upstairs addressed to a Miss Montgomery. Who is that?
You were snooping around up there? Naughty, naughty, Mr. Fordham.
It's part of my job. Now, are you going to tell me or not?
Nope. I don't think I will. You're the detective. I'll let you solve that mystery yourself.
I think this mystery could be best solved with a punch in the nose. God, I wish I still had fists.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
I like looking at him. He has such pretty colors, doesn't he?
That he does.
You know, I've always wondered what he might taste like. Is that bad, do you think?
I really couldn't say, Mr. Montgomery. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
This is ridiculous. He won't be of any use in this state. If it takes him as long to snap out of it as it takes you, we'll be waiting around here until noontime tomorrow. There has to be a way to bring him back to his senses. Maybe that quack outside knows something of use.
Who's a pretty bird?
Quack! Ray's a pretty bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you. Quack!
Pieces of 8?
Aye, matey. Quack!
So long, Birdie.
Quack! Bye-bye.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
May I ask exactly what kind of sedative you gave Andrew?
A simple tincture of laudanum. It's what I give all my nervous patients.
He seems a bit out of sorts.
Hot? Meat kettle.
It can have that effect, but it usually wears off in half a day or so.
Is there a way to bring him out of his condition sooner?
A stimulant would have the opposite effect, but I wouldn't recommend mixing the two. It could have potentially harmful effects on his heart.
Oh, of course. I wasn't planning on doing anything of the sort. I was just curious.
It's cute how you act like you have no experience in these matters. It's almost convincing.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Ah, St. Denis Cemetery. Best view in the city. It's just a shame none of the residents can enjoy it. I think I'm buried around here somewhere. Wonder how the old gravestone is doing these days. This just goes to show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb. Looks like people have left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then. I don't know him. Must be a recent addition to the force. Well, at least he won't recognize you.
Good day to you, officer.
Good day, sir. How may I be of assistance?
Sure is a nice day to be walking around the cemetery, wouldn't you agree?
I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. Personally, the noise those bugs are making is starting to drive me crazy.
Would you mind letting me in the tomb, please?
Afraid I can't do that, sir. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation and ain't available for visits until further notice.
I think I saw someone being mugged at the front entrance.
Nice try, sir, but that's clearly a bunch of bull. You're just trying to get me to step away so you can go inside the tomb.
What? No, I would never do such a thing.
In any case, there's another officer stationed at the entrance, so if there was somebody being mugged, he'd see it for sure.
Well, at the very least, it's nice to see the department is hiring competent officers who aren't easily fooled.
Well, they can still be fooled. I think I remember a little bit of how to solve this, but I'm gonna first walk around before I get to it.
Egad! Is this someone's room or a jungle?
Quite a fascinating array of plants in here, not to mention the machinery on the table.
Madame Dupray's daughter seems to have an interesting hobby. We really should see about tracking her down. I wonder what sort of fertilizer or growth tonic these plants are getting. Whatever it is, it's definitely working. That's quite the book collection. It almost puts Adelaide's to shame.
All impeccably cataloged and organized as well, which makes the two missing volumes stand out even more.
Those are the most vibrant flowers we've seen in a while. I bet they smell extra strong.
Yes, they certainly do.
It's a good thing you're the one with the nose. This plant makes Miles Jr. look like a single blade of grass. I'm guessing they're probably full of more scientific equipment or plant-related stuff. They appear to be scientific scribblings. I can't make heads nor tails of them.
That makes two of us.
They appear to be
That makes two of us.
They're just doing what flies do best. Etheric pressure. What a bunch of nonsense.
Well now, this is interesting.
Is it? Etheric effects for larger, more vibrant flowers. Chlorophyll productions in the triples, root systems strengthen, increasing capacity to absorb nutrients. Conclusion: plants thrive from exposure to small etheric currents. Further experiments are needed to determine the long-term effects. Effects: fauna. Brain is clearly affected, inducing a trance-like state. Muscle control lost. Wings flap in predictable pattern. Conclusion: if animals with greater cognitive ability, including humans, are exposed to specific quantities of ethericity, they will go into a stupor, appearing unresponsive or dead. Well then.
Just a bunch of technical nonsense. I can't understand a word of it.
Okay, but was that it? I think there was something else under this. No, there isn't. Okay, let's push some buttons here. See what happens.
I have no idea nor desire to know what purpose that thing has.
Okay, well, if not anything else, that was a nice demonstration.
Oh, would you look at that?
Anything I can do here at this moment? Okay, he also said the 2 volumes. I think I know what he's talking about.
That's quite the book collection. It almost puts Adelaide's to shame.
All impeccably cataloged and organized as well, which makes the 2 missing volumes stand out even more.
The thing is, I don't know how he concludes this. Or am I maybe jumping to conclusions? Then again, he's the one with the better up-close point of view. So, who am I to say things?
Doesn't appear to be very brief if there's 2 volumes of it. I wonder if anyone outside the family would find this even remotely interesting. Doesn't appear to be...
Okay, this was talking in general. Oh wait, I forgot. I can teleport places. I have to check this out.
Ah, Compton Street. We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
One of Atwood's re-election posters, sorely lacking a mustache. Go on, Miles. Fix this grievous injustice.
Not now, Bill. There are more important things to worry about.
Spoil sport. I'm glad that Coulson still uses horses. I don't trust the new self-driving cabs. Considering how many eating establishments are in this neighborhood, the butcher picked a fantastic spot to set up shop. I do notice a distinct lack of stray cats in this neighborhood, though.
Come on, really? Well, it is what it is sometimes. Jokingly or not jokingly, unjokingly.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
I need to speak with you about Albert Martin.
Albert? Are you with the police?
No, I'm a private investigator.
Oh, I don't think you can help. I'm sorry.
Sorry to bother you. I'll be on my way.
Good day to you, sir.
Okay then. So I'm gonna need an extra something to get in there as well.
Bonbon's Restaurant. I never got a chance to go there, but I hear their deviled eggs are simply to die for.
Fordham? Is that you? You look like something a cat spat up.
Hello, Giles. It's lovely to see you too.
What brings you round the jail? I thought you'd quit being a detective.
I'm looking to speak with Mr. Albert Martin.
Oh, I see. Well, that's him in the first cell there. I'd say what needs saying as quick as you can, though. He's headed for the gallows in the morning.
What? Already? But what about a trial?
No trial necessary when there's black magic involved. This little half-breed's already sealed his fate.
Such a charming fellow, isn't he?
Giles? Giles and Miles? Miles and Giles? Anyway.
I bet that's a direct line to the police department. You should make a rude noise into it when Giles isn't paying attention. He's watching you like a hawk. Looks liable to toss you in one of his cells if you try any funny business.
Mr. Martin?
Who are you? My lawyer?
No, I'm actually here to help you. The name's Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
How are you going to help me?
I'm looking into the attack on Madame Dupray. I believe you're innocent.
Oh, thank heaven. That's music to my ears.
Would you mind answering a few questions for me?
Friend, if it means saving me from the noose, I'll tell you nothing less than God's truth.
Interesting choice of phrase for someone accused of using black magic.
How did you end up in here?
I was just minding my own business at home when the police showed up with no warning. They made some outrageous claims about me putting some sort of curse on Madame Dupray. The next thing I knew, I was here. Oh, Mama must be beside herself with worry. I just hope she's all right.
What does your mother do, Mr. Martin?
She helps people.
I was hoping you'd be just a bit more specific.
She provides spiritual help to those who seek guidance.
She's a spiritualist.
Not quite. She's more like... how can I explain it? You know how a priest holds mass to spread the word of God to the people? My mother holds services and calls on the spirits to walk among us, providing healing and guidance.
So she's a religious leader?
If you want to give her that title, it would be the most appropriate.
And does this religion of yours have a name?
You'd probably know it as voodoo, but it doesn't mean what you think it does. People are so quick to judge and portray us as evil when they have no idea.
So you practice voodoo, do you?
Are you making fun of me, Mr. Fordham?
No, of course not. Apologies if it seemed as though I was. It's just that the police are convinced that black magic was involved in Madame Dupray's apparent death.
That's because that idiot son of hers knew about my mother, and like all bigoted fools, assumed that we're involved in devil worship and the black arts. But I can assure you that this is most certainly not the case, Mr. Fordham.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply.
Just forget it.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupray?
What's to tell? She's a twisted, evil woman who got what was coming to her. Whoever attacked her deserves some sort of reward for the service they're doing the community.
So it wasn't you then?
No, I'm innocent, Mr. Fordham. You have to believe me.
I'm afraid you're not making that very easy right now, Mr. Martin. Do you know anything about the circumstances of Madame Dupray's supposed death?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Then why did her son accuse you?
Probably because he's just as ignorant as she is.
What I meant was, how did her son know to accuse you? Have you had any contact with the family before?
Yes, you could say that.
Uh-oh. That gleam in his eye says it all.
You see, I'm involved with Dupray's daughter, Juliet Montgomery. Dupray doesn't like that one bit. She even threatened me once.
Is that right?
Yes. She might have everyone else fooled, but that woman is the devil incarnate. I can't understand how something so heartless and cruel could have spawned someone as pure and, loving as my dear Juliet.
He's not really helping his case much, is he?
Tell me about Juliet.
She's wonderful. Such a beautiful, kind soul. She hasn't come to see me yet, but I'm sure that's because of all the confusion in the last few days. Juliet wouldn't believe for a second that I would be capable of harming her mother. I'm sure of it.
How did you two get involved?
We met at the university.
Your classmates?
Hardly. They wouldn't allow someone like me to enroll there. Juliet studies botany. I work as an assistant in the greenhouse. We started talking, and she actually treated me like a person. To everyone else, I was just the boy who fetched the test tubes. But Juliet actually wanted to hear what I had to say, had the same taste in books and art, didn't just treat me like some piece of gardening equipment. She even shared some of her notes with me after I told her I was interested in botany as well. From there, things just got better. I don't expect you to understand or approve, but that's how it happened.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It doesn't sound too different to how my wife and I got together. Except I was a detective and she was a singer at a bar.
And she's...
Yes, Mr. Martin. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. How often is Juliet in the greenhouse?
Every weekday, but I doubt she's there now. She's probably trying to find out where I am and working to have me released.
Somehow, I wouldn't bet on that.
That's all for now.
Oh, wait, before you go, would you do me a favor? Would you go see my mother at our house and give her a message?
You're at 451 Compton Street, right?
Yes, that's right. Could you tell her I said St. Rock's dog is barking?
I suppose I could do that, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Whatever happened to a simple I love you?
Okay, that's my way in.
He's watching you like a hawk.
Alright, hold on, I will be right back. Alright, I'm back.
You again? I told you I have no time for visitors.
Yep, it's me again.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Rock's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do. Welcome to my home, Mr. Fordham. I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message. I wonder what it meant.
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
The Virgin Mary? I must admit she was the last person I was expecting to see in here. A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies. For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least. Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves. That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
What exactly is it you do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asugwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city are afraid of us for no reason. Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead. It's about healing and life. Naturally, there are misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purposes, but I am not one of those.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop pressing her on this angle.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she sure that's the correct body part?
He's all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
If you'll indulge my curiosity, what exactly was the meaning of Albert's message?
Saint Rock is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job. Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupray?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for a polite conversation, Mr. Fordham. But I can tell you this. Laura Dupray has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
What do you know about Juliet, Madame Dupray's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliet sounded to be a decent soul. It's a shame the same can't be said for her kin.
Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
Oh, it's as though we've journeyed to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep that coat on in here. Those flowers are definitely not native to this area. They seem to be thriving in their glass tubes, though. Quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. I wonder if they serve any purpose or are just meant to look pretty. One of those cute little Japanese trees that are all the rage these days. Personally, I don't see how giving a tree a haircut is meant to be relaxing.
Pardon the disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
My wife has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are amazing things, just like people in many ways.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will become sick. Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning from them.
These plants are impressive. Are they yours?
Yes, I've developed a method to make them extra healthy and strong.
They're larger than anything I've ever seen. How do you do it?
Ah, but I can't reveal my secrets, Mr. Fordham. The world will hear about my discoveries soon enough.
Incidentally, do you know anything about Easter lilies?
No, I don't keep or grow those here.
Do you know anything about the events leading up to your mother's premature interment?
No, it was a complete shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I was. What sort of heartless beast would celebrate their mother's death?
Oh, I could name a few. Juliet definitely didn't shed any tears over Madame Dupray, though. That much is obvious.
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
I felt terrible about it. You have to understand, I didn't want her to be dead. I just felt a sense of relief. Please, don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on the best of terms.
Why don't you and your mother get along?
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything. She always disapproved of anything I did. When I was younger, she used to forbid me from speaking to the servants. I saw no harm in a kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties. Then when I declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid. In her opinion, a university education was tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts, she'd say.
Personally, I've always found intelligence to be quite attractive.
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement with Mr. Martin?
A rather forward question, Mr. Fordham. But you're not mistaken. I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly had a conniption. As I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Mistreat? No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing out of the ordinary that I ever saw. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember. She's like the aunt I never had.
What can you tell me about Albert Martin?
I'm not quite sure where to begin.
Why not start by telling me what your relationship with him was?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant, sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away nearly every single one of my classmates. But with Albert, I found myself intrigued. I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of floor near me over and over again. It wasn't too long before I had him bringing me tools and equipment, regularly.
I see.
As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute terror when she found out.
Do you believe Mr. Martin did what he stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but Albert can be quite passionate. If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't any secret that he hated Mother. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this.
Well, it's nice to see she's all heart.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Andrew, Mama's precious little boy. If you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver platter. But he's in for a rude awakening someday. Mother can only provide for him for so long.
Do you know anything about ethericity, Miss Montgomery?
You surprised me, Mr. Fordham. I had no idea someone of your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open-minded.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. In fact, it's recently become a focus of my studies. Despite what the newspapers have been reporting, it's already possible to access it in small quantities from the air around us.
Have you conducted any experiments?
No, my research has been purely theoretical. I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Deceiver, dissembler, her trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research public, though.
Should I do this? She actually asked me not to push further earlier, I think, or something along those lines. Then again, this is just one word. I have no idea what he's gonna say exactly. I guess I'm gonna give it a shot.
Miss Montgomery, please don't lie to me. I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find things out, Miss Montgomery. Now please, drop the act and tell me about your experiments.
Fine. I've been researching etheric effects on living organisms. I'm planning on presenting my discoveries to the board once I make more progress. So far, I've managed to discover that plant growth is accelerated significantly. It's given me quite the advantage in class.
But isn't that cheating?
You have no idea how difficult it's been for me to be taken seriously, Mr. Fordham. No matter how hard I tried, my work wasn't valued on its own merits by my peers or professors. I fought hard to get where I am. I wasn't about to lose all that just because some pig-headed idiots didn't think my best was good enough.
That sounds awfully familiar.
What about your notes on the effects of ethericity on animals?
Oh, those aren't complete. I haven't tested the effects on anything larger than flies. Those experiments were mainly to satisfy my curiosity, but they have little to do with my actual research.
Curiosity? Seems like a lot of effort to go to just to answer a question. But then, I never really understood these scientific types.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Oh wow, I can't go there anymore. Okay, so... or at least for now, it may reappear later. I can go back and speak to this guy. Oh yeah, she dropped the name of the servant. I should speak to her, I guess. Then again, I eventually have to get to the cemetery.
Pardon me, miss.
I told you I'm very busy, and I'll get in trouble if I'm caught speaking to you.
Amelie, please. I need to know what you know about Madame Dupray.
What? How did you know my name?
Juliet told me about you.
Miss Juliet?
Yes, I spoke to her at the university. She mentioned you two were friends.
Yes, that's right. She's always been so good to me.
Look, Amelie, I'm just trying to get some information. And I have a feeling you can be very helpful if you just let me talk to you.
All right, fine. But do it as fast as you can.
Are you the only remaining servant here?
No, there's another one. Marcel. He's the new gardener. I haven't seen him in a few days, though. Not since before Madame's incident.
What do you know about Juliet?
She was always so kind to me and the others, but her mother don't like that one bit. Still, she sneaks down into the kitchen to keep me company some nights. Even though she's a good soul, I think part of her does it just to spite her mother.
Tell me about Madame Dupray.
Oh, I really shouldn't, sir.
It would greatly help my investigation if you did.
Madame Dupray was kind enough to hire me as her cook. It's hard to get jobs in the city. Lots of people want their servants to use those new machines. My sister's brother-in-law got half his leg blown off by one of those new ovens. He's lucky he wasn't killed. So I'm plenty happy working here doing real people's work. But Madam can be difficult sometimes.
Difficult? What do you mean by that?
No, I said enough.
What do you know about Madame Dupray's supposed death?
All I can tell you is that whoever did it really hated her.
Do you know Albert Martin, the man accused of the crime?
No, I'm sorry.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He ain't so bad. Kinda spoiled, but he mostly cleans up after himself. Has a whole private part of the house, but I think he only uses one room. Better for me, way less to clean.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
Interesting. I thought she had more to say. Oh well. You know, I should also probably save more often than I have been, just in case the game decides to crash or something. It doesn't seem to be the case, but you never know.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
I'm reminded of a famous quote, Mr. Fordham. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Let us part on good terms and avoid the subject altogether, please.
Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
Honey, I'm home. You know, I've always wanted to say that.
It's good to have you back. So what's this big case Upton's got you on? Another missing pet?
If only. A Gascon Grand Dame was attacked and almost interred alive.
You mean Madame Dupray? The one whose obituary was in the paper?
The very same.
Goodness, that does sound serious. Tell me if there's anything I can do to help. I know you haven't been feeling your best lately.
You're always a help to me, Addie. Though I assure you I have this well in hand.
I certainly hope so.
Addie?
Yes, dear?
Do you know anything about Madame Dupray?
I've read that the Duprays are one of the few wealthy families that exclusively employ real people to serve. Rather commendable, don't you think?
Yes. It makes it even more baffling why she was attacked. Have you heard any gossip from your clients? Anything about who might have wanted to harm her?
Nothing. She's held in the highest regard by the other Grand Dames. If she had actually died, I'd have expected them to petition her canonization.
I'll let you get back to your book.
Wait, really? Okay then, I guess I missed something again.
Let her read in peace for now.
Boo. Okay. Some of this probably not, or not yet. Maybe I'll go and speak to Upton. See what
Enjoy your
she
reading.
has to say.
I'll be back soon.
I wish you'd let me fix your hair before you go out like that.
It'll be fine.
Best avoid that one. He looks like he might tip over at any moment. Reminds me of when I was alive. Ah, good times. He and his friend are having quite the conversation. I bet it's really boring.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
I seem to have hit a roadblock. There's an officer posted at Dupray's family tomb, and he won't let me in.
Makes sense. Who's the officer?
I've never seen him before. He's young, has a small scar over his left eye, and a distinct Dixie accent.
Ah, yes, that would be Officer Grant. He's only been with the department for about 2 months. I don't know a lot about him, but he's already got the reputation for being the type of policeman who'd go out of his way to help old ladies cross the street. Typical Southern gentleman, it seems. Perhaps you can use that to your advantage?
Ah, I see. Well, perhaps I can.
Madame Dupray's son isn't being very helpful.
Is he refusing to talk?
More like incapable. The family doctor has him pretty well drugged to the gills. I need to find some way to perk him up.
Well, you know, we are in a coffee house.
I have a feeling it will take something a touch more powerful than coffee. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
That's it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to it.
Hey, Addie. Here I am.
Welcome home.
Addie?
Yes, dear?
I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
What is it?
There's an officer posted in front of Madame Dupray's family tomb, and I need to get a look inside. Could you use your wiles and charm to distract him?
My wiles and charm, hmm?
Well, you are irresistible, darling. I'm sure he wouldn't turn away a lady in need. Say you've gotten lost in the cemetery and ask him to show you the way out.
Should we really be tricking a police officer like that?
There's no harm in it, and I won't be but a moment inside. It's in a good cause.
All right, let's go then. Excuse me, officer. I was wondering if you could help me?
What do you want?
I seem to have gotten all turned around. Do you have any idea how to get to the front gate?
My suggestion would be to turn around and head back the way you came.
Yes, I've tried that, but I seem to just be going in circles. Perhaps you could point me in the right direction?
Stop right there. That's quite enough from you.
I beg your pardon?
Don't think I can't tell what your game is. You're trying to lure me away from here and into some alley where your gang of Sambos is gonna rob me blind. Exactly how many of them have you got lying in wait for poor, unsuspecting fools you bring them?
Just one. And he doesn't appreciate you talking to his wife that way.
You know, Miles, sometimes I forget how absolutely delightful it is to watch you lose your head.
Miles, was that really necessary?
I'm sorry, Addie. You know how I get with people whose minds are full of that rubbish.
Let's just get him out of sight before this lands both of us in jail. That bush over there should work. I have to say, I wasn't expecting assaulting a policeman to be on today's activity list.
It'll be fine. When you're on the force as long as I was, you can pretty much get away with murder.
Although I think you may have already used up that privilege.
Well, it's been fun, but I need to take my wiles and charm over to my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. I'll see you at home later, dear. Try to stay out of trouble.
What a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it. Hang on. You don't suppose this is... Surprise, surprise! A hidden compartment with a stash of pills inside. Seems Mr. Montgomery has a little business on the side. That nest is full of eggs. But where's the mother bird?
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't you, Miles? These crypts are reserved for future generations of Chestertons to rot in.
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't opposed to spending eternity cozied up to one another. This must be what was going to be Madame Dupray's final resting place.
I don't see anything inside.
What, were you expecting a note from her attacker?
No, but I was hoping for some kind of clue at the very least. Douglas Chesterton, 1791 to 1840. Good riddance. William Arthur Chesterton, 1770 to 1837. Gone but never forgotten. Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon. Rest ye with the angels. Sarah Chesterton, 1784 to 1812. I told you I was sick. Dale Chesterton, 1795 to 1843. A good man. Rest in peace. Jane Scott Chesterton, 1746 to 1815. Ab Eterno. Desmond Chesterton, 1745 to 1810. Strong in life, stronger in death. John Patrick Chesterton, 1740 to 1825. Patriarch, leader, family man.
Okay, if I remember correctly, there was something else here with these.
I suppose the whole heaven shining down upon the tomb motif is good for the dead people's self-esteem.
Probably this one.
Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon, rest ye with the angels. William Arthur Chester.
Alright, so we got the pills and nothing else. Should be good enough for now. Oh wait, I forgot again. Oh well.
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
You'll never believe what I found in your family's tomb.
Oh? Was it a ghost?
No, it was these Vigor pills. You wouldn't happen to know how they got there, would you?
I see you really are good at your job, aren't you, Mr. Fordham?
Look, Andrew, I'm in no mood for games. I'm willing to overlook your unlawful activities in exchange for your cooperation.
Fine, but you have to understand, I'm not exactly feeling myself right now.
I understand perfectly, which is why I need you to take one of these pills.
I suppose one would help. Thank you. My goodness, I always forget how fast those pills work. My heart is racing. You said you had questions, didn't you? Well, go on, ask them already. We mustn't waste any more time.
Well, that seems to have done the trick. I just hope we haven't doomed him to a heart attack.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
I study pharmacology at the university. I'll be graduating next year if all goes well. I just hope Mother has recovered enough by then to understand what's going on. She and Jean were so proud of me when I started university. I'd be so disappointed if she couldn't see me finish.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupray?
I can't believe anyone would be so cruel as to do what that wretched bastard Martin did to her. Mother is kind and generous and everyone loves her. She's even good enough to hire actual people to do the housework. Not many wealthy families do that, you know. They just use automated machines or hire servants to operate the manual ones.
What exactly were the circumstances leading up to your mother's supposed death?
A few days ago, I arrived home from school and found her collapsed on the floor. She wasn't breathing, so I immediately contacted Dr. Fellows. He examined her and pronounced her dead. We were all completely shocked. I was devastated. She'd been in fine health. In fact, she'd just been out riding that morning. You can imagine our surprise at the funeral when she sprang back to life.
What's your relationship with the servants like?
Relationship? I don't have one with them. They're servants. Mother always made it clear that they weren't part of the family, just help. We've only got 2 on staff right now, though, the kitchen girl and the gardener.
I take it Jean is your stepfather.
He is. Mother married him 5 years after my father died of consumption.
My condolences. Do you have a good relationship with him?
Not terribly. Truth is, I hardly ever see him. In fact, before the funeral, I hadn't seen him at all this month.
Where is he now?
I don't know for certain, but it seems likely he's at his hunting cabin.
His hunting cabin?
Yes, he often goes there. It's his way of leaving polite society behind and spending time with his thoughts. Considering what Mother just went through, well, I would guess that's where he's gone. Although, to be honest, I don't know why he's not here with Mother in her time of need.
Why do people run away from their problems instead of facing them? Why, Miles?
Do you know where this cabin is?
Afraid not. I don't share his passions, so I never cared much to accompany him on his outings.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
Juliet, smart as a whip and just as forgiving. She's a fighter, that one. Despite being the only woman in her class, she's managed to rank at the top.
Impressive.
I only wish Mother was more accepting of Juliet going to university. But you don't want to hear about boring family matters, I'm sure.
Oh, but family matters are my favorite. It's always so reassuring to know how much worse off everyone else is.
How is it you know Albert Martin?
He works at the greenhouse where my sister Juliet does her research. The two of them were involved romantically, and Mother didn't like that at all. I heard their fights. They were ghastly.
What exactly made you suspect he was the one responsible for what happened to your mother?
Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? His mother's a notorious voodoo witch. Those people do all sorts of awful things to our kind. It's all out of spite, you know. He knew Mother disapproved of his relationship with Juliet, so he plotted to get rid of her.
So, you're running some kind of pill business on the side?
I'm providing a service, Mr. Fordham. Not everyone in this life is as lucky as I am. People pay top crown for luxuries like airship tickets and social club memberships. Medicine should be affordable to all. Dr. Tennyson has a patent on the energy pill formula and thus a monopoly on the market. That means he can charge whatever he wants. Students use these kinds of pills all the time, you know. Academic rigors can be overwhelming, and concentrating can be difficult without help sometimes. I've got the skills and the equipment. If I can replicate the formula, help my fellow students, and sell them at a much more reasonable price, why shouldn't I?
There's the fact that what you're doing is illegal.
Oh, you're starting to sound just like Mother. And just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's immoral. I can think of plenty of examples where the opposite is true.
You're probably the most altruistic person I've met all month.
The sad part is it's true.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
Yes, Ray is nice when he's quiet. But get him started and it's tough to shut him up.
Who trained him?
I think he already knew some phrases when Mother bought him. She's managed to teach him a few new ones, though.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Who's a pretty bird?
Quack! Ray's a pretty bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you. Quack!
Pieces of 8?
Aye, matey. Quack!
Who's a pretty bird?
Quack! Ray's a pretty bird.
Interesting. There was something with the bird.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you. Quack!
So long, birdie.
Quack! Bye-bye.
Oh well. She probably won't know anything interesting. But I'm gonna try since I'm already
Yes?
here.
What is it? We mustn't be seen talking.
Anything you can tell me about John?
I hardly ever see him. Only at dinner. He's scared of Madam, and so he finds any reason to get out of the house and stay away as long as he can.
Scared of her?
Oh, it's true. You should see him when they're in private, like a shamed puppy that dirtied the carpet.
Interesting.
Do you have any idea why Jean is so afraid of Madame Dupray?
If he's seen the same things we have, then yes.
What kind of things?
No, I spoke out of turn. Forget I said anything.
Amelie, listen to me. A potentially innocent man's life is on the line. If I don't find out who attacked Madame Dupray, he's as good as dead. So if there are any facts or details you know that I don't, you need to tell me.
I can't.
You can. I'm not with the police. If Madame Dupray did something wrong, I'm not going to look the other way. Trust me, I'm on your side.
Madam beats the servants. I think she even does it for fun. I hear the screams sometimes. I don't know how anyone else in the family doesn't. Maybe they do and just ignore it. I don't know. But if Mr. Dupray knows what she do, it explains why he's so scared of her.
Did Madame Dupray ever abuse you?
No, I was lucky, but some of the others weren't.
Like who? I need details, Amelie.
The old gardener, Guy Dumas, and one of the maids, Celine. I saw Madame going after them the most. Don't know what they did to deserve it, but I would see her walk by in a rage, whip in one hand and a book in the other.
A book? What book?
Oh, I don't know. I can't read, so I don't know what it said on the cover. But it's the same color as the stew spice I always use. Don't know what she used it for, but she always had it with her, just before a beating.
Maybe she'd recite them some of her terrible poetry. I'm sure that was torture enough.
Okay then, this actually proved to be quite useful conversation. Never mind me.
Tell me more about Guy and Celine.
They were deeply in love with each other. I used to hear them talk about how they wanted to run away together.
What happened to them?
I don't know. One day they were here, and then one day they weren't.
Do you think Madame Dupray may have done something to them?
I couldn't say for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if she had. Please, let's not talk about this anymore.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
Yeah, I may need to go back to the cemetery again if he hasn't made the connection yet. No mention of the names though. Oh, there we go. Should care about. Oh wait, I never asked her what is the color of her favorite ingredient or something.
Stick around. I may have more questions for you later.
Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
She probably isn't too happy about that, but yeah, like you said, she has nowhere to go. Will he know anything about this?
I have some questions for you.
All right.
Aha.
Did you know Guy Dumas?
The old gardener? Sure, I knew him. We didn't talk very much. He was just a servant after all, but he seemed like a nice man. He stopped coming around about 2 months ago. Too bad, really. He did a good job of keeping the gardens looking nice. The new one is all right, but he just doesn't have that special touch Guy did.
Were you familiar with a servant named Celine?
Yes, I believe she was one of the maids. I didn't talk to her very much. Oh, she quit not so long ago. At least I assume she did. I haven't seen her in about 3 months.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Oh, dear God, no, please, let's not expose ourselves to that drivel again.
Nice. Okay, bookcase. Ah, now I can take this. Choice and consequence. Yes, I actually forgot the title or whatever somebody wrote on top.
Well, this should be the book Amelie mentioned. Well, what have we here?
A whip, and it has dried blood on it. How ghastly.
This house is just full of secrets, isn't it?
Oh, well then, there was also something with this, I remember this much. It's funny, he doesn't even take it, even though... We have seen the piano. And I think the bird was involved somehow. Wait, what about this setup here? Is this nothing?
The science of pharmacology.
Like,
Yeah, I'm sure it's
nothing
riveting stuff.
interesting? Okay then.
I can only wonder what sort of potions Andrew concocts in this thing.
Vigor pills, what else? Oh, this toy here, this doll seems a little interesting.
A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Dupray didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls.
Yeah, I don't know if it was involved in any of the puzzles and or revelations. Or maybe I should talk to Emily about this whip again.
Amelie?
Yes? What is it? We mustn't be seen talking.
I found this upstairs in Madame Dupray's bedroom. Do you recognize it?
Oh, please take that away, Mr. Fordham. Why would you show it to me?
I'm sorry, I didn't think it would upset you.
Miles. Maybe someday you'll learn how to read basic human emotion.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
Okay then, well, it was for the shock value, just to confirm that things are alright and she's not lying, blah blah, making up excuses. Anyway, Parrot, let's see, Mr. Paragon will tell me anything? No.
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey. Rock.
Alright, so
long, Birdie.
Rock. Bye-bye.
The physician is probably not gonna tell me anything. I have to speak to her. Review the location of the cabin, I guess. Oh, maybe I wanna save, why not?
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Oh, I forgot about the cemetery. I should have checked out the cemetery before this. Oh well.
Is there anything you can tell me about your stepfather, Jean?
He's a kind man. I don't really see him too often. He seemed rather upset at Mother's funeral, but I can't help but wonder if he feels the same way as I do about her death.
What do you mean?
Just that I get the distinct impression that he and Mother's marriage isn't as perfect as they'd like it to appear.
I'm starting to sense a trend here.
Your brother told me that Jean enjoys hunting. Do you know where his cabin is?
Yes, it's in Fenton Swamp. I went out there with him a few times, but I didn't really enjoy it. Frankly, the place is rather grotesque. All those stuffed trophies staring at you with their cold, dead eyes. Plants are much nicer to have around. Anyway, if you take the main road through the swamp about 1.5 miles, you'll come upon a small dirt path that goes northeast. Take that until you see a small cabin on the left. That's it.
Thank you for the information, Miss Montgomery. Do you know Guy Dumas?
Yes, he was one of our servants. He used to enjoy reading my books, as well as Andrew's.
When did you see him last?
Just last week. He came by to see me and asked to borrow some books.
Do you know where I might be able to find him?
Not really. I get the impression that he moves around frequently. But I can tell him you're looking for him next time I see him, if you like.
Please do. Although hopefully I'll be able to find him before then. Were you friends with Celine, the maid?
Yes, I was quite fond of Celine. She was so sweet and interesting to talk to. One day, she just left the house with no explanation. Mother said it was because she had found work elsewhere. I was terribly saddened. I wish I'd had the chance to say goodbye to her, at least. What's your interest in her?
Oh, I was just curious, that's all. No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Oh yeah, I was just curious. It's not like I just saw her tomb or whatever. Let me check this. Maybe I should also talk to the guy. He's gonna know probably Juman's location. I can tell him I know about the weapon, so and so.
Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon. Rest ye with the angels.
You don't suppose...
Nah.
Really? Nothing?
Celine.
You don't suppose...
Nah.
Get out. I need more, maybe?
This must be what was going to be mad.
I don't see anything inside.
What?
No.
Okay then, so much for that. Let's see what this guy can tell me then. I'm kinda curious.
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not like I'm going anywhere.
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupray?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter. So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her. But even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
Intriguing.
That's all for now. Hello? Is anyone here?
Strange of Dupray to leave the door unlocked. Maybe it means he'll be returning soon. You really have to wonder about someone who chooses to surround themselves with dead things. I had a nasty run-in with an alligator when I was a child. One less in the world doesn't really bother me, to be honest. An absolute bore. Are these even native to New Britannia? Some high society type in the middle of a hunt. I don't understand why anyone would get a thrill out of murdering innocent creatures. Not a very dignified end for our friend Mr. Bear. It seems Mr. Dupray is a Bollingworth man. Maybe he's not so bad after all.
Let's see if Jean has anything interesting in here.
Not very much, except a letter.
Oh, would you look at that? Dear Jean, thank you so much for your help. To think that Mother would try and have me withdrawn from my studies is just unbelievable. Don't worry, I won't tell her you made the university change their minds. One attempt to ruin a life is quite enough, Juliet.
Satchels, boxes, and other assorted boring things for hunting.
Yeah, but nothing quite like the boar, right?
An absolute bore.
That's so.
One of the guns is missing. Jean must be out using it currently.
Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cabin?
Jean Dupray, I presume?
Yes, that's right. Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the attempted murder of your wife.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Forgive my rudeness, but you startled me.
Perfectly understandable, Mr. Dupray.
This is a man whose bark is most definitely worse than his bite.
Can we talk, Mr. Dupray?
I suppose so. Yes.
I suppose it goes without saying that you enjoy hunting, Mr. Dupray?
Yes, I do. I consider myself something of an outdoorsman, you see. It's nice to be able to go out and get some fresh air after being sat at the bank all day.
What about your home life?
Truth be told, I'm not at home as often as I'd like to be. I've been trying to make more time, but something usually comes up. Business is business, after all.
Yeah, but what business are we talking about here exactly?
What can you tell me about Madame Dupray?
Oh, my dear wife, the past few days have been just awful for all of us.
Yes, I can imagine. How long have you been married?
For 7 wonderful years. Laura and I are just as much in love now as we were on the day we married.
Boy, does he actually expect anyone to believe that nonsense?
You'll pardon me for being so frank, Mr. Dupray, but why are you out hunting and not at your wife's side?
Excuse me? Who are you to lecture me on my marriage?
A fellow married man, that's who. Your wife has just suffered a very traumatic ordeal. Shouldn't you be at home caring for her?
But with all the confusion at the house, with the police investigating and her being attended to by her doctor, I just needed to get away for a bit. Surely you can understand, Mr. Fordham.
There's something off about this guy, Miles. He's definitely hiding something. And for once, I don't think it's from his wife.
Do you know anything about the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupray's death?
Horrible. Simply horrible.
Do you have any idea why Mr. Martin might have attempted to kill her?
Mr. Martin? You mean the boys they arrested? Andrew said it's because Martin and his mother are witches who prey on the well-to-do. You only need to take one look at him to see his trouble. It's a shame they put him away so quickly. I'd have liked to teach him a lesson or two, believe you me.
Yeah, right. A lesson on how to cower in the corner, most likely.
Do you fear your wife, Mr. Dupray?
Do I... what?
The question's quite simple. Are you afraid of Madame Dupray?
Why in the easy would you think that?
I'd be afraid of someone who kept a bloody whip in my bedroom. Care to explain that?
You don't know her like I do. No one does. Well, no one aside from the servants, I suppose. She's cruel, Mr. Fordham. Crueler than anyone or anything I've ever seen.
Tell me more about Madame Dupray's cruelty.
She treats the servants like animals, Mr. Fordham. She would say the most vile, awful things to them. Things I would expect to hear on the Gascon docks, not from the lips of a grande dame. And the beatings. Oh, God. The screams I would hear from somewhere in the house. I never dared find out where.
Nobody else ever heard the screaming?
No. She was cunning. She would do it when no one else was around. Once she knew I had heard, she threatened me. Told me she would...
Yes?
She threatened to expose my secret, Mr. Fordham.
And what secret is that?
Our marriage is one of convenience. It's all for show. Laura has herself a well-to-do husband, and I am a normal man in the eyes of society.
I see. I suppose that would explain a few things.
Well, now, how was that not obvious to you? The soporific is really having a bad effect on you.
Don't worry, Mr. Dupray. Your secret's safe with me.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham.
What can you tell me about your stepchildren?
Andrew and Juliet? I see a bright future ahead for both of them.
What's your relationship with them like?
It's fine. Why do you ask?
I got the distinct impression from both of them that they hardly ever see you.
Well, yes, I suppose that is true. We don't spend much time together. But they're both so busy with school, I don't want to get in their way. Not to mention my job keeps me away from home for considerable periods of time.
Tell me what you know about Guy Dumas and Celine.
Celine had an accident.
What kind of accident?
Laura thought Celine had been stealing her silverware. She got a bit carried away with a beating and...
Dupray killed Celine?
Yes, she did. In order to keep it quiet, she had Celine placed in our family tomb.
I see. What about Guy?
I don't know. I never saw him again after that.
Well, this case has certainly taken a turn for the sinister.
Do you know anything about Madame Dupray trying to get Juliet taken out of her classes at the university?
Ah, yes. Laura didn't approve of her daughter's desire to further her education. So, she sent a letter to the university requesting Juliet's withdrawal. I didn't approve of her trying to meddle in Juliet's affairs. If she wants to study, she should be free to do so. I wrote them a letter myself, without Laura's knowledge, telling them to disregard the previous request for withdrawal.
That's very good of you.
Yes, well, I dislike seeing people being told what they can and can't do by others.
Yet, he seems perfectly willing to employ servants at his home. Well, I suppose we're all hypocrites in one way or another.
I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Mr. Vaudin.
Well, maybe it's not him, but the Grand Dame. Then again, yeah, he's kinda complicit, you could say. Alright, I'll still go back to the cemetery, see if he says anything, and then I'll ask around some more.
Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon, rest ye with the angels.
Wait a minute, this is Celine, the maid.
You just made the connection? No way!
Somehow a piece of paper got wedged into the side of the vault. Carefully now. Got it! Nice work, Fordham. Now to see what this is.
Interesting.
Leaving notes for the dead. How very touching. Wonder if anyone has left me one at my grave.
Quiet, Bill. I need to think. We know...
Is there anything on the other side of that piece of paper?
Bill, you're a genius.
I wouldn't give me all the credit just yet.
Let's see. A receipt for an extended stay at the Stun Arms. Does that sound familiar at all?
Vaguely. But I can't recall anything off the top of my head.
Looks like we'll have to do a bit more searching.
Helpton may be able to assist us with that. She will pay for what she did to you, my love. Guy's note. I guess I must have missed it. Did he like her? I think somebody may have mentioned it anyway. Alright, so that is the other thing here. All the tombs.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
I found this note in the Chesterton tomb. I think it was left by the person who attacked Madame Dupray.
Nice work. Sounds like you're about ready to wrap things up.
I will be as soon as I find him. Take a look at the other side of it.
Part of a receipt for a hotel?
Yes, but the name is only partially visible at the bottom.
Boston Arms. The only hotel that comes to mind is the Boston Arms in Chumley.
Of course! I knew the name sounded familiar. The stories I could tell you about that place. Not right now, of course.
You're helpful as always, Upton. Thank you.
Good luck, Fordham. I hope you find your suspect.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Who is it?
I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. It's extremely important I speak with you, Mr. Dumas.
Private investigator. What do you want?
Just to talk. May I come in?
Yes, I suppose so.
I found your note in St. Denis Cemetery. Care to explain what it means?
How did you...
I'm a private investigator, Mr. Dumas. That's what I do. Now we can either do this the easy way or the hard way. It's up to you.
I left that note for Celine. I didn't think anyone would ever find it.
So it was you who attacked Madame Dupray?
Yes, it was me. I confess.
I can't remember the last time a suspect actually confessed. If only they were all like this.
But please, Mr. Fordham, you have to understand. The woman is evil. If only you knew what she did. Please, don't arrest me, Mr. Fordham. You have to know the truth about Madame Dupray.
Relax, Mr. Dumas. I'm not going to arrest you just yet. I'm perfectly willing to hear your side of the story. Now let's take this nice and slow. How did you come to be employed by Madame Dupray?
I used to work in an iron factory in Chumley, but a few years ago, they brought in some steam machines to help production. One of the machines had a problem, and my friend Connor and I were assigned to fix it. We had no idea what we were doing, but we wanted to keep our jobs. I don't know what happened, but the next thing I knew, Connor was dead, and I was badly hurt. I swore never to go near one of those machines again. After I got better, I spent a few months looking for work, but it was impossible to find any jobs that didn't involve steam tech. Then I found out about Madame Dupray. Working at her home seemed like an improvement. I had a decent bed to sleep in. The work was not difficult, and I even made friends with her daughter. But Madame Dupray soon showed her true nature.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupray?
She seemed like a nice woman at first, but after working for her, I came to know how awful she truly was. When no one was around, she would beat me and some of the other servants for fun, say the most cruel things, call us horrible names.
Why didn't you just leave?
She threatened us, told us she would make it impossible for us to get work anywhere else. It's already difficult enough getting a job that doesn't force you to operate those awful machines. To be blacklisted by Madame Dupray would have been the final nail in the coffin.
So why did you attack Madame Dupray in the way you did?
I knew that if I went to her home and killed her, I would be caught and thrown in jail. I needed to find a way to do it quietly and not make anyone suspicious. Also, I wanted her to suffer for what she did to my Celine. I had read about toxic plants in Juliet's schoolbooks, and I knew a bit about them from working as a gardener. So I decided to poison Dupray and make her appear dead so she could be buried alive and suffer the same way she made us when she would lock us away in her secret room.
Did you say secret room?
Yes, Mr. Fordham. It was no bigger than a coffin. She would place us inside if she was especially mad at us, with no food or water, sometimes for days at a time. We couldn't scream because she would stuff our mouths. She would also plug our ears and cover our faces.
How often did she put you in there?
Only a few times, but that was more than enough. I'd rather not think about it.
So you have no idea where it is?
None. I only remember Madame Dupray would say the same thing any time she was about to put someone in there. A perfect servant must behave. I've told you everything, Mr. Fordham. Are you still going to arrest me?
I haven't quite decided yet, Mr. Dumas. If I can find this secret room, it would be enough to charge Madame Dupray with a crime. However, if you haven't been telling me the truth...
I have been, Mr. Fordham. I swear it. I'll even make you a deal. If you promise me you'll try to find the secret room, I won't leave this hotel.
All right, Dumas. It's a deal.
Well, at least now we can go straight to Upton and have him taken in. Unless you really do believe him about the secret room.
Tell me about Celine.
Oh, my dear Celine. She was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. We were going to get married, you know. Then that devil killed her. She beat her to death in front of me. I was powerless to do anything. Please, Mr. Fordham, I don't want to remember. Let us speak of something else.
Do you know Albert Martin?
No. Who is that?
He's Juliet's lover, falsely accused of the crime you committed.
I had no idea.
Are you going to let an innocent man die because of what you did?
No. No, of course not. I suppose things got out of hand. It was not my intention for someone else to take the blame for my actions.
That's all for right now, but I'll be back.
Yes, Mr. Fordham. I'll be here.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's crooked paintings. A wash basin? When did this place get so fancy? It appears someone is due for 7 years of bad luck. Seems to be what passes for a dresser around here. Either that or Dumas is secretly a pirate.
Let's see what he
Doctor,
has
may I ask
to
you a few
say.
questions?
Please be my guest.
Oh, can I ask him about him? Sure, why not?
Tell me what you know about Jean Dupray.
I'd rather not speak of him. Madame Dupray does not need to be agitated any further.
I take it you don't look very favorably upon him, then.
I'll just say this. If my wife had been attacked and left for dead, you can be sure I wouldn't leave her side.
What a gentleman. He doesn't even leave women who aren't his wife.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope I answered them adequately.
Well then, that's some observation right there. Alright, let's see what I can do here.
A perfect servant must behave.
And now you'll taste an early grave. Me sofa, Ray. In the middle, see?
So long, Birdie.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I think this is it, but for some reason he just won't take the thingy with him. But why? It's gonna sense of Juliet and her mother's rift. Oh, do I have to? No, great secret room. Return to the accused. Yeah, in due time. Okay, let's see if I can get something here. Oh well, this is still running. Wasn't there also something with it? I don't remember. Something with this, or was it with the painting? Anyway. I actually forgot how it was. I think something like this. Yes.
That seems to have done something.
Dear God!
This does not look good. He's dead. You should inform Dr. Fellows about this right away.
It seems Guy was telling the truth after all.
Yes, it would probably be a good idea to let him know of this development.
Oh wow, we're not going back there anymore. Okay. Do I wanna push this? I'm also wondering. I don't think I have to. I just wonder what he's gonna say. I also wonder what the other guy is gonna say about all of this.
Quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. Quite the assortment of plants.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Did your mother try to get you withdrawn from the university?
As a matter of fact, she did. Just another one of the many ways she tried interfering with my life.
What happened, exactly?
Mother wrote the university requesting that I be withdrawn. I found out about it when the enrollment office contacted me. I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was some sort of mistake, but then they showed me the letter.
I take it you were upset.
More than upset, Mr. Fordham. I was furious. I was trying to make a real life for myself. One that wasn't about dresses or debutante balls or fending off suitors. I'd been given the chance to make something of myself, and Mother was ready to bring it all crashing down, just because she didn't agree with it.
But in the end, you're still here.
Yes, Jean stepped in and fixed everything. He didn't have to do it, but it was very good of him. I'm afraid that was the beginning of the end of my relationship with Mother. We never really managed to fix things after that.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Fordham, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Wait, what am I saying? Of course you are! Madame Dupray has been interfering with Juliet's studies and disapproved of her relationship with Martin, hence they're falling out. Plus, the information in Juliet's notes about ethericity, putting animals into a death-like trance, seems awfully suspicious. It's enough to establish both means and motive. That's plenty to consider her a suspect.
Yep, correct. But then again, we already know something else that is much stronger of an evidence. Okay, I don't know why. Do I earn extra points now or something? Anyway, let's see what Martin has to say.
Nothing else to ask him right now. He hasn't got much time left. Best not to waste it.
Okay, so much for that. His mother is probably not gonna help me too much. I remember I could have asked for tea, which is gonna let me peek behind her curtains and so on, but well, I know about this, so I'm not gonna do it. I think she just ends up kicking you out or something. It may be possible that you can accuse her too, I don't know.
Guy?
Yes?
I found the secret room you told me about.
You see? I wasn't lying.
No, you certainly weren't. There was someone inside, a man.
No. Who?
I'm not sure, but I can only assume it was one of Madame Dupray's servants.
Was he alright?
I'm afraid not. He was dead. Dr. Fellows confirmed it was due to asphyxiation.
Madame Dupray must have put him in there before I drugged her. And then, with everything that's happened, she didn't let him out in time. Oh my god, it's my fault he's dead. If only I'd known.
The circumstances are quite unfortunate, Mr. Dumas. However, this has shed a new light on Madame Dupray and her cruel practices. I can't say for certain that you were justified in your actions, but I am a bit reluctant to say you were completely at fault. But the bottom fact is that Mr. Martin has been falsely accused of this crime. If I were to let you go, he would be punished in your place. Unless...
Yes?
I'm going to need you to write me a letter, Mr. Dumas.
Of course, Mr. Fordham. Anything to take care of this mess.
Good. Hopefully now this whole grim affair can be brought to an end. That's all for right now, but I'll be back.
Yes, Mr. Fordham. I'll be here.
A letter? His confession, I, Gajima of sound mind and body, hereby confess to the attempted murder of Madame Laurent Dupray. Okay. Interesting. Also, what do we have here on him? Former servant of Madame Dupray confessed to attacking her in retaliation for the murder of his lover's name. Yes. Also, weren't there more possible suspects? I think so. I think if you cannot make any progress, like you can accuse, or you can have Martin as a suspect and possibly even his mother, maybe Jean, I don't know. Alright, not much else to do but to meet with Upton. Let's see what this guy has to say, I wonder.
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
We haven't got anything else to ask him about right now.
Okay, just as well.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I think I'm ready to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
Really? I had no idea I could do this. I wonder what this would say exactly. It's funny that I can also acquit him. I mean, he did the thing, and I have no idea. Can they somehow fix her or something? This is interesting. I guess I also saved kinda nearby. I have no idea what to do right now. It's interesting that they have this option in the unsolvable case. I don't think they had this option before. Maybe they did though. It's been some time. Then again, they had several updates. Considering I probably acquitted him last time, maybe I'll condemn him this time. Why not?
It was Guy Dumas, a former servant at Dupray Manor. He used toxic plants to drug Madame Dupray so she appeared dead, which he learned about from her daughter's schoolbooks.
What was his motive?
Revenge. His lover was beaten to death, and he wanted Madame Dupray to suffer for it.
Fiendish. Nice work, Fordham. I'll pass along the information and we can make an arrest. I'm sure Mr. Martin will be relieved. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work. For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Oh, but he didn't say about the other stuff.
Just a moment.
Guy Dumas?
Yes?
You're under arrest for the attempted murder of Madame Laura Dupray.
I suppose it was too much to expect Fordham to believe me.
What was that?
Nothing.
I recommend you remain silent until you're questioned at the station. Come with me.
Addie, I'm home. Addie?
She must still be out at her hairdressing appointment. I'm glad we're alone because I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yes, Bill, I know. I told you I'm doing my best to try and find the flower shop burglar.
No, for once, this isn't about him. This is about you.
You want to talk about me? What about me?
You can play dumb and deflect all you like with everyone else around you, but it won't work with me. I know exactly what you're thinking, and you know exactly what I'm gonna say.
You want to talk about how we did on this case?
Yes, that's exactly right. Have you already forgotten the old days, Miles? Before I died, we were solving cases like nobody's business. You were one of the best detectives on the force. But ever since you started taking that soporific, your mind hasn't been as sharp as before. If you're serious about taking on more complex cases, you need to listen to Adelaide and stop taking it. It's already had a negative effect on your performance.
What are you talking about? We had Guy Dumas arrested for the crime.
Yes, but if you were working at your full abilities, you'd have come to that conclusion much sooner.
If I stop taking it, you won't let me sleep through the night. Nothing will change.
Well, things would change if you found you-know-who.
I thought you said we weren't going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, well, I say a lot of things.
An understatement if ever there was one. Can't you just keep quiet without me having to take something?
Afraid not, old friend. That's just not who I am or how this works.
If you keep me up all night, I'll go crazy. Things have been hard enough as it is. And if, God forbid, Adelaide were ever to find out about...
Hello, Miles. Is there someone else here? I thought I heard you talking just now.
Fantastic. The jig is up. And here I thought we were doing so well, too.
No, I was just going over the case. Thinking aloud, you see.
Ah, of course.
How was your appointment?
Mrs. Lefebvre was her usual bossy and overly picky self, but she gave me a very generous tip.
That's good.
So I stopped by the shop on the way home and bought a new deck of cards.
Excellent. Shall we have a few rounds of écarté? I believe you demanded a rematch last time we played.
Yes, that would be nice.
Well, you certainly managed to dodge that bullet. I only wish I could say the same.
And it says here they still don't know what caused that explosion.
I guarantee you it was sabotage. Those Redites have been causing a lot of trouble lately.
Is that the group of anti-steam tech radicals?
The very same.
Why Redites, though?
They're named after some fellow named Jonathan Red, apparently the one who began the whole anti-steam movement. It's really a rather stupid name, if you ask me. And uncreative, to boot.
Well, what would you call them, then?
Something simple, like the Anti-Steam Society.
That almost makes him sound classy. Perhaps you'd best stick with the detecting, dearest. Your nomenclature needs a bit of work.
Well, I think it's about time I get ready for bed.
All right, Miles, if you must.
Oh, look at this. You can finally take control. I did not know I was in for such a treat. Alright, I'm gonna save here and I'm gonna load back. I'm kinda curious as to what's gonna happen. So, let's see. Oh, I cannot look at the previous case. Nice. Alright, so be it. I saved here. Oh yeah, the extra points
Hello again,
for talking to her, something like that. Yeah. Did I discover the thingy? I did. I already have. Okay. So, he did not even mention the madame's doings. I thought he would
Go
have.
on, I'm listening.
Let's see what he says here.
I think I'm ready to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
Say what now?
Actually, I'm not ready to wrap things up yet.
Okay, just let me know when you are.
Just kidding.
That's it, I think.
Wait,
Then you'd better get back to it.
where's all my stuff? Where did my things go? Oh, I think I was supposed to talk to Jamal for... I guess I haven't done that yet.
Guy?
Yeah.
I found the secret room.
You see?
No, you certainly weren't. There was someone...
No. Who?
I'm not sure.
Was he alright?
I'm afraid not.
Madame Dupray. And then... Oh my god. It's my fault he's dead. If only I'd known.
The circumstances are quite unfortunate, Mr. Dumas. However, this has shed a new light on Madame Dupray and her cruel practices. I can't say for certain that you were justified in your actions, but I am a bit reluctant to say you were completely at fault. But the bottom fact is that Mr. Martin has been falsely accused of this crime. If I were to let you go, he would be punished in your place.
Yes?
I'm going to need you to write...
Of course, Miss...
Good. Hopefully now this whole grim affair can be brought to an end. That's all for right now, but I'll be back.
Yes, Mr. Fordham. I'll be here.
Okay, so they just let him go because I say so?
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I think I'm ready to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
It was Guy Dumas, a former servant at Dupray Manor. He used toxic plants to drug Madame Dupray so she appeared dead, which he learned about from her daughter's schoolbooks.
What was his motive?
That's the thing. I've learned that Madame Dupray is extremely cruel to her servants. She regularly beats them, and even has a secret room no bigger than a coffin where she places them as punishment. I discovered this secret room and found a dead servant inside. He had died from asphyxiation.
My God.
A few months ago, Madame Dupray beat Guy's lover Celine to death. He wanted revenge and intended to make Madame Dupray suffer the trauma of being interred alive.
I see.
Constance, I don't think Dumas should be arrested for his crime. He doesn't deserve it. Madame Dupray, however...
Yes, I see what you're saying, and I agree, but what about Mr. Martin?
I got a signed confession from Mr. Dumas. You can see the handwriting matches this note I found in the cemetery. That should be enough to release Mr. Martin, as well as giving Guy a head start in his escape from the city.
It's gonna be tricky getting the department to look into this. but with the proof you've gathered, it should work. Excellent investigating, Fordham. I knew you still had it in you. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work. For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Good evening. I'm looking for Madame Laura Dupray.
This is Madame Dupray. I am her personal physician, Dr. Fellows. May we help you, officer?
I'm afraid I must place Madame Dupray under arrest.
What? On what charge?
Several, actually. Manslaughter, domestic violence, murder in the second degree. Shall I go on, or can we continue this at the police station?
You won't have to worry about Madame Dupray anymore. She'll be in jail for a very long time. And Mr. Martin has been released with a full pardon as well.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham. I appreciate your help and your trust.
Think nothing of it, but you'll need to leave town as soon as you can. Have you made plans?
I was thinking of heading south. New Britannia is too cold and dark. I want to find someplace more like my home.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, Mr. Dumas.
Okay,
Addie,
so
I'm home.
they don't let him
Addie?
go.
She must still
we
be out at her
just let
hairdressing
him
appointment. I'm glad
run
we're alone
away.
because I
He
wanted to talk to
basically
you.
escapes.
Yes, Bill, I know. I told you I'm doing my best to try and find the flower shop burglar.
No,
And
for
he
once, this isn't
also
about him.
did not kill
This is
her.
about you.
Alright. Well, it wasn't very clear to me, at least. I think I usually accept my fate, but I think this time I'm gonna make an exception. I guess he's kind of like guilty of some wrongdoing, that's obvious. But they kind of cleverly dealt with this problem by letting him escape. Let's see, I'm gonna try and have the same conversation, I guess.
You want to talk about me? What about me?
You can play dumb and I know exactly.
You want to talk about how we did on this case?
Yes, that's exactly right. Have you already forgotten the old days, Miles? Before I died, we were solving cases like nobody's business. But ever since you started taking that soporific, if you're serious about taking on more complex cases, you need to listen to Adelaide and stop taking it. It's already had a negative effect on your performance.
What are you talking about? We were able to discover the truth about Madame Dupray.
Yes, but if you were working at your full abilities, you'd have come to that conclusion much sooner.
If I stop taking it, you won't let me sleep through the night.
Well, things would change if you found...
I thought you said we weren't going to talk about...
Yeah, well...
An understatement if ever there was one. Can't you just keep quiet?
Afraid not, old friend. That's just...
If you keep me up all night, I'll go crazy. Things have been hard, and if, God forbid, Adelaide were ever to find...
Hello, Miles. Is there someone else here? I thought I...
Fantastic.
No, I was...
Ah, of course.
How was your appointment?
Mrs. Lefebvre was her
That's good.
so I stopped by the shop on the way.
Excellent. Shall we have a few rounds of...
Yes.
Well, you certainly managed. I only wish I could say...
And it says here they still don't know what caused that explosion.
I guarantee you it was sabotage. Those Redites have been causing a lot of trouble lately.
Is that the group of anti-steam tech radicals?
The very same.
Why Redites, though?
They're named after some fellow named Jonathan Red, apparently the one who began the whole anti-steam movement. It's really a rather stupid name, if you ask me. And uncreative, to boot.
Well, what would...
Something simple, like the Anti-Steam Society.
That almost makes him sound Perhaps you'd best stick with the detective.
Well, I think it's about time I...
All right.
could that be at this time of night?
Good question. But Adelaide can handle it for now. I need to take my medicine.
You certainly have your priorities in order. Go on then. Get that bottle of rat piss out of your nightstand and let's get this over with.
Ugh, tastes like the devil's sweat.
You could just stop taking it, you know.
Bill, now is not the time to...
Miles, could you come back out here, please?
Be right there, dearest. Who was that at the door?
A late-night courier. You've got a message from Upton.
Furthermore, this case makes the last one look simple. Midnight ruin ASAP. It's urgent. Okay.
Seems this case is rather urgent. She wants me to meet her as soon as possible.
But didn't you just take your soporific? Are you going to be all right to go?
It won't kick in for another hour or so. Should be plenty of time.
All right, I'm going to bed then. Good luck, dear.
Good night, Addie.
I'm still not too sure about that previous case, by the way. I think we should have condemned him and locked her up too for what they both did, but oh well, and now we have to hope he's gonna get caught or something. Anyway, I'm gonna save here. Actually, I can save over this. And I'm gonna go. No, these are animations are awesome. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.